We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no mock at halftime.
For one Razorback.
It's vintage Matt Jones.
1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field out.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Good morning on a lovely Thursday in Northwest Arkansas, live at the XNA Airport. I'm Phil Olsen, meeting the baseball team later today for a flight to Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Matt Jones and the C Unit at our ESPN Arkansas headquarters. We've had our big press conference. We had our big event, and now the building of the team can start, which Coach Calipari alluded to quite a few times yesterday. Entertaining event for sure. Entertaining press conference. Didn't realize that the format was going to be for sort of kind of like a conversation with Chuck Barrett and Coach Cal, which really felt like Chuck kind of setting Cal up for some of the things that he wanted to tell the fans yesterday. 7,000 strong at Bud Walton Arena, not for a game, for an introduction. And it was a great introduction. Matt Jones, good morning. It is a beautiful day to be a Razorback today.
Absolutely. What a Thursday. It is beautiful. I got to see a little bit on the TV, SEC Network, I guess is what it was on. I don't know. I guess I'm assuming you were there for it live.
I watched on Pig Trail Nation last night.
I saw Van Horn was there live. Mm-hmm. Pittman was there live. The one thing, it was cool. Hey, woo pig suey, all for it, 100%, all good. This just it settles any debate. This is a basketball school. It's everybody that thinks I get it. We want football to do good. I'm a football fanatic. I like both sports. I like competing. It's a basketball school.
That kind of felt like a statement the same way yesterday. You're right. And even Hunter Yurachek, after when he's doing his thing before introducing Cal, is going through all of the, I guess it was the current teams more than anything, not the teams that had played in the fall season, but the current teams and all of their rankings, and going through all of the coaches that were in attendance. And it was kind of funny. Well, not funny, just interesting to hear the level of cheer by the coach that was being introduced. And, some of the guys that have been getting the criticism, the teams that weren't as successful, they had the quieter introductions. And I think Dave Van Horn got one of the loudest ones, and then John Tyson got the loudest one too. Yeah, I mean, it was more than just an introduction yesterday, Matt, because I think, they know that deal was broadcast live on the SEC Network. So it's like, all right, here's everything else we've got going on campus too, and then turned it into a basketball thing. But it wasn't just an introduction, that's for sure.
It was weird at first because you can definitely tell he's still partial to Kentucky. He's pro-Kentucky, 100% pro-Kentucky. And, they're showing a lot of clips of Kentucky guys getting drafted in the first round. So I get it. Didn't see a whole lot of Arkansas players in the last 10 years. Any highlights of that? It's a total change. It's a totally washout. Didn't mention Coach Muss, mentioned Eddie Sutton and Nolan Richardson. Didn't say a word about Coach Muss. It was interesting. It was real. It seemed real pro-Kentucky. Now I watched 12 minutes of it. I didn't watch the whole thing, but it definitely seemed pro-Kentucky. And that's his success, right? He's had a lot of draft picks from the University of Kentucky.
Celebrating's not the word. It would be pointing out, I guess, a lot of the things that college basketball fans already know about what Cal did at Kentucky. That was interesting. I mean, it's putting another SEC school's achievements on the video board, but also saying, like, look, this is the coach that
We had two-
led them
we-
to these things. So
Right.
this is the kind of thing that can happen here too.
We had 2 first-round draft picks last year's draft. No mention of that. You know, we've had draft picks the last 3 years. You didn't see those players. You didn't see any Arkansas draft picks saying Arkansas basketball. It was I just found that kind of funny. And then, but hopefully they're shifting over. You know, like he like he said, he took off his blue sweater to put on the red sweater and said, "Don't take a gander at these hams." You know, like you look somewhere else.
Yeah, they did mention Muss a few times.
Okay,
at least
okay.
mention him.
Maybe I was talking about Hunter Yurachek when he was talking at the beginning.
No, Muss's name was mentioned out there. I think in the idea of bringing Arkansas back to a level that now you hope it gets more than now. You were hoping that you would do that under Muss, but obviously he had other ideas and hey, I mean there was kind of like a celebration when Muss was was hired as the coach. Nothing like what happened yesterday. This felt almost like a coronation.
Oh
You know,
yeah, yeah.
It's
Dip the baby in water, sprinkle a little bit on your head. You know,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, 100%.
Absolutely, and it makes perfect sense too to treat a coach like that. And I got to be honest, like he brings you in. He connects with an audience. He connects with an audience easily. And look, they're jaded Kentucky fans that are out there saying, look, all he's doing is a sales job. But look, if it was them, and they would have been eating it up as well. To me, it felt like he hit all the right things, talking about Arkansas as a blue blood program, pointing out reasons why you could say that, welcoming, the thing he did with Joe Klein. But
Got me fired at the Nets, Joe.
yeah,
Said, "Hey, Joe Klein." I heard that story. He said, "Hey, I'm Joe Klein. You made a trade for me." He's like, "Well, you were in the trade. We didn't trade for you." And he's like, "Yeah, go ahead and put your uniform on." Then as he's checking in, he goes, "Hey, nice. I'm Joe Klein. Nice to meet you."
Yeah. Well, the phone lines are already lighting up. I hadn't even given the phone call yet, and everybody wants to get in here. So I'll take a couple calls because we've got Bob Holt coming up in the next segment. But if you're planning on getting on the horn right now, hold on to your horses. We have 3 hours here on Halftime today, and if you're around during those 3 hours, there's going to be a lot of open segments for calls and opinions and comments and celebrations, if that's the way that you want to look at it too, which I think it is. I think this is a celebration. But the thing is, the celebration lasts about an hour, and now the job begins. And I can't imagine that yesterday, even amongst all of the craziness that it must have been like for Cal, leaving Lexington, getting on the plane, landing at Drake, having the heroes welcome. And it's just got to feel like it happens very quickly, immediately. But I can't imagine that he wasn't at least – he might not be an internet guy like he said yesterday, but he's a text guy because everybody is these days. I'm going to guarantee you he was working that phone, working those thumbs, because as he also alluded to, he's got an entire team to build. I mean, an entire team to build. And so the celebration lasts about an hour, and then the job begins. So let's get to the phones because we've got Bob Holt coming up in the next segment. Melvin and Sheridan, you get to go first today. What's up?
I thought it was a great welcoming deal for Coach Cal. It couldn't have been no better. I didn't realize he was such a sincere, nice guy, and what he said makes everything awesome in my eyes. It was one of the most honest situations and things I've seen, and made me feel good. First time in my lifetime I thought about maybe contribute to NIL. And Matt, you're right. This is a baseball state. That's where our great athletes choose to put their God-given talents on showcase. Go Hogs!
Well,
thank y'all.
That too,
Thanks,
but and also we don't get our best athletes on the football team. They go to other schools. Our best athlete this year who won a state championship in basketball, Courtney Crutchfield, he went to Missouri. And even the
best basketball player, Honor Boateng, is going to Mizzou.
And the 2 quarterbacks that can play, we didn't want them. They would go to Auburn and Minnesota. So it's if you're not getting your best football players in the state, even it's real clear, and it's not a bad thing, so to speak. It's just what I noticed, and that's cool. At least we're something. At least basketball school is a good thing.
Cal was asked about recruiting the state, and he put it in terms of the way that he viewed it in Kentucky. That if you got kids that can play at this level within your borders, and they're good kids, go ahead and recruit them.
Make them a priority. Yeah, yeah.
Michael in Fayetteville is next up on the McClarty Daniel Hotline. Hi, Michael. Thanks for the call. How are you?
Oh, great. Love your show. Listen every day. Just wanted to clear up. He did talk about Musselman and Danielle and what a great job they did while they were here.
I missed that part. That's on me. Like I said, I saw about 12, 17 minutes of it, and I didn't see that part. So that's on me.
Well, Phil, I just wanted to call and also tell you, I grew up a Houston Astros fan. I'm 64, and we had an announcer there named Gene Elston. And when I first heard your name, I thought it might have been Elston, that you might have been related to him. But that was back when Lowell Bass and Gene Elston were doing the Astros games. But
No, he's got the extra T in his last name that I don't have, and no relation to Bob Elson either, who was a longtime broadcaster for the White Sox.
yeah, but I think you're great, and I just hope you stick around a while. I think you've got the talent to do national games and stuff. I think you're great. But love you guys, and go Hogs.
Okay. Thanks very much, Michael. I appreciate the phone call and all your sentiments. John in Fort Smith, you'll take us up into the break, and then Bob Holt will join halftime. John, you're on the air. Thanks for calling.
What's up, fellas? Man, it was a great little thing last night that we watched. I mean, everybody was tuning on to it. I mean, I really enjoyed all of it. I think the only problem I had here was that when they were going through the list of programs and they were like, number one in baseball, Did anybody else have that sinking feeling where you were like, what are you going to say about football?
I thought that myself. I did. I thought that myself.
and the body language at the end, when Coach Pittman's just standing there at the very end and they're talking, I was just like, oh man, this looks rough. And I just didn't know what you guys thought about that.
Oh, I mean, I don't have a thought about necessarily anything that what Coach Pittman looked like, or how he might have reacted or anything. Those coaches over on that Cal went and spoke to, they looked, I think, just as excited as almost any fan did right now. I mean, Dave was looking at him with a huge grin on his face as they shook hands, and
I think
it's an elevation of the athletic department. I mean, it might feel like, and I think it does. I mean, basketball, you're one of the few schools that's paying the basketball coach more than the football coach now. That is a statement. That is a statement that you don't need to necessarily get into very much. But this elevates the athletic department. This elevates the Razorback brand nationally in a way that only a national championship does. And this is even different than that, because this has a weight of celebrity that, look, there are a lot of celebrity coaches have retired now, and maybe you like celebrities or not, but you got one as your head coach for men's basketball, and if you feel like he connected to you through the television or through the radio, or if you were in the audience, that's him. That's how he gets these recruits. I think that's how he coaches too. To me, it doesn't come across as fake at all. I think to some folks it comes across as fake. I just think he's a guy that can connect with people. And I thought I thought he did great yesterday. Honestly, I wanted to hear more, but I'm sure we'll hear a lot over the next couple of months.
Well,
John, thanks for the call.
And to your point, Phil, it does elevate, because what do the football players do when they come on their visits? They go to a basketball game. They're going to be around that atmosphere. They're going to be around that environment. That's going to be something that's catchy for them. I think that will help. It could sway a little bit. If you go watch an LSU basketball game, you're like, yeah. You go watch an Arkansas basketball game, you're like, heck yeah.
Well, hopefully there'll be a lot of heck yeah. Maybe some of that heck yeah can start today, because you got a team to build. Got a lot of roster spots to fill up. And maybe that's something we'll hit on Bob Holt in just a moment. I hope I didn't just claim violence on Bob Holt. The words didn't really fit together very well. Calls and texts on the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. Bob Holt from the Democrat Gazette next.
This is halftime.
We'd like our program to reflect our state, the great state of Arkansas. Loyal, tough, hardworking. One of our goals every year is to make the state of Arkansas proud of the football team. In my office is a sign that says you're not coming to play for the University of Arkansas, you're coming to play for the state of Arkansas.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westart Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westart Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drains, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
It's the inventory liquidation event. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith. Come take a test drive. Cost you absolutely nothing. You can be registered right then on the spot to win one of 2 4-wheelers we're giving away. No payments for 90 days. Your state sales tax is paid, and there's over 500 vehicles to choose from.
Listen, I got a ton of vehicles traded for a Porsche, traded for an Acura, traded for a Corolla. It doesn't matter the make or model. I'll trade for it. A boat, a camper. It doesn't matter. Come down here. State sales tax paid. Giving away 2 4-wheelers. The biggest sale in Fort Smith's history. Guys, come down here. Let me see if I can help you out.
Bring the kids. We have bounce houses for them to enjoy while mom and dad drive the cars, and it won't take long to get you the most for your trade. And again, the largest used car sales event with the biggest selection Fort Smith's ever seen.
Yeah, guys, I've got new cars out here. Special rates on new cars as low as 2.9. Come out here and come see us on one of those. Rebates up to $6,500. Come out and come see us.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the place. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Tommy Kraft here for the Fitzman. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from the Fitzman can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, the Fitzman can custom install any type of fencing, gates, and control access for your business. Call the Fitzman and ask about 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit. 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $425 off of your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Should start with Bob.
It's time to talk with a unique individual.
You said you and Diva are OGs, old guys? Brett, you spoke so positively recently. I mean, did you expect this to happen?
He's a man of mystery.
Why do you always talk about Arkansas? But go ahead.
Well, why do you always talk about Kentucky? Hey, it's Bob again. I think I'm unmuted now. I figured it out. Man, you win the lottery 3 times, get to go to Starkville.
A man whose incisive questions have rapier wit.
Hey, John, but I had a 2-parter if that's okay. What did you mean? I'm sorry. I'm not that. Man, we got to get the Packers straightened out. Losing to the Jets, that ain't in Lambeau, that ain't good.
That placed him on the Mount Rushmore of Arkansas sports writers.
What do you think about that?
Sure, Bob. The future in that, yeah.
Here he is, the one and only Bob Holt.
Hey, guys.
Every Thursday when we play Bob's introduction here on halftime, you get to hear the famous back and forth with him and John Calipari about talking about Arkansas and talking about Kentucky. I guess, Bob, we get that maybe every week now throughout the basketball season, huh? That had to be a little for everybody yesterday. That had to have felt maybe a little surreal, maybe none more so than you.
Yeah, I mean, even though we obviously knew it was happening for the last couple of days, I think by Monday it was pretty much a foregone conclusion. And still knowing it was happening and, getting the news, the official news Wednesday morning, then the fan introductory press conference / pep rally, I guess you'd call it, and then his Q&A with the media. Yeah, seeing him in that red Arkansas pullover that he had when he talked to the media, it was just weird, but it's actually happened, and something we all got to get used to. It's one of the biggest sports stories in Arkansas, and I don't know how long. It's arguably the biggest sports hire in the school's history.
What was the best moment of the event last night? What was your favorite or your best takeaway?
Man, that's a good question, a tough one to answer. He was really good. I mean, John Cal, it's not his first rodeo. He really knows how to work a room, even if that room is as big as Bud Walton Arena. But I thought really he did a good Q&A with Chuck Barrett, and really, I'm not sure Chuck asked more than 3 or 4 questions, but there was a plethora of information that Calvo said in his answers. But yeah, the thing I thought about is he's going to walk in here and get this hero's welcome, and I couldn't help but think back to the 2020 game when Kentucky played at Arkansas, and it was Eric Musselman's first year, and it was a huge game, and the place was packed as it always is for Kentucky, and he didn't like. But the game was tied, and I think Cal was trying to rally his team, but he got onto the officials when they called an illegal screen on a Kentucky player, and he got 2 tees, was ejected, and going off the court. The place was going crazy, and then Arkansas hit some free throws to take a lead, but then ultimately Kentucky came back, rallied, and won. But I just remember thinking, I mean, this guy gets booed every time he's in Walton Arena, and now he's going to get this hero's welcome. That was kind of my big takeaway from it. And he dressed it right away, like, the fans all cheered, and he said something like, I've never gotten this kind of reception in this building before. And he brought up, getting tossed, and they were throwing things at him. I don't remember people throwing things at him, but yeah, that was just wild to think now he's the king of Walton Arena, where before he was the villain, But I thought he handled the introductory presser, or whatever you want to call it, very well, and then his Q&A with us was good and informative, and he's really a guy who he's been at Kentucky for 15 years. Before that, he's been a head coach at a high level for 32 years. I don't even know if he resurrected UMass's program, because I don't know if it had anything to resurrect. He built that program, and it obviously hadn't been the same since he left. And he really took Memphis to another level. And it's, still a good program, but nothing like when he was there. And I think he's going to, take Arkansas to a higher level too. And but yeah, yesterday was a big day for him and for Arkansas for sure.
Bob, a phrase that he used yesterday that stands out. Now, I want to kick this around a little bit over the course of the show today, is that he always runs, quote, players first program, unquote. I'm sure that there are other coaches that use the same terminology. I think Sean Miller did too. I think Miller was recruited by Calipari at Pitt, so he might have gotten a little bit of that idea just from a relationship with him. That's just a guess. What do you think a players program means?
Well, I'm sure that was part of his recruiting pitch, but I think it's where you really do put the players first, like what's best for them, what's best for their welfare. Obviously you need to win games, and some people at Kentucky got upset. I think because they felt he was more into helping guys get to the NBA than championships in Kentucky. I mean, not that he didn't want to win big at Kentucky, and he has won big at Kentucky, a national championship, got to another title game, 2 other Final Fours, Elite 8, Sweet 16s, all 9 yards. But I think they felt maybe that, he was more into bringing in players and helping them realize their NBA dreams. But I think the two things can go hand in hand. I mean, obviously you want to get great talent, and if you have great talent, those guys are going to go to the NBA. And the Arkansas had a hype video where they showed first David Stern and then Adam Silver, the last two NBA commissioners, just moment after moment saying Kentucky players as number one draft picks, and Arkansas had some number one draft picks too. Obviously, 2 years ago or last year, Arkansas had 2 number one draft picks, and Anthony Black and Nick Smith, but nobody's done it like John Calipari. And so, but I think that means you literally put the players first. You don't throw them under the bus when the team's struggling. You take accountability for that. You always want their best interest. What's in their best interest? If it's in, it might be in your best interest if they come back to school. But I think he's always encouraged guys to go, after their pro dreams, rather than come back and we'll help develop you more. I think if he feels like they're going to be a first round pick, a lot of coaches are like this. I think Eric Musselman is like this. A guy is a sure first rounder. He needs to go get that money and start his NBA career. But I think it's just. You put the players first in everything, and what player hearing that wouldn't want to go play for that guy?
One of the things he brought up that I thought was interesting, Bob, was the player mobility now. That years past, coaches could leave and do whatever they want, but now players have a little bit more control. What's this been, 4 years, 3 years now, that the players kind of can control where they want to go each offseason. Man, the players can enter the portal.
Yeah, and he talked about people will remember this when Arkansas decided to part ways with Stan Heath. Cal was among the coaches that Frank Broyles, Arkansas's legendary AD, talked to, and he maybe could have had the job, but he said that he named off all the great players at Memphis. Derrick Rose among them, and he didn't want to leave those players because guys could transfer, but they had to redshirt. And also, even though, the one and done thing is now very common, it wasn't as common back then. I mean, think about Corliss Williamson played at Arkansas for 3 years. He surely could have left after his sophomore year, but he didn't. Joe Johnson,
2 years,
2 years. Arkansas had never had a one and done guy who went in the draft. There always were some players who just lasted a year, but they never had a one and done first round draft pick till Moses Moody, I guess in 2021, right? So. Trying to get back to my original thought on that. I'm sorry. What were we talking
Just the
about?
mobility, because you're right. Because when he said he wasn't going to leave there, and that was kind of part of his deal from leaving Kentucky to Arkansas when he was talking to Coach Sampson, and he said Coach Sampson brought up, hey, the kids have the power now too.
Oh yeah, thanks for rebooting me there. It makes it in my head. I'm just tired. I'm old. But yeah, I mean the players. Even if Cal had decided to stay at Kentucky. A lot of those guys were leaving for the draft. Some guys were going into the portal, and players do have freedom of movement now, just like the coaches do, and so that changes things a lot. You don't feel like you're leaving players with no options where they're kind of stuck there. Like they could leave, but it used to be they had the red shirt, and sometimes schools could block a player. They wouldn't give them a scholarship release to school A or B because they didn't want to play. Maybe they were playing that school. So not only could a player had to sit out, they could block where he transferred. They would mean if he went to that school, he couldn't be on scholarship right away. So that's all changed. And as he pointed out, Kelvin Sampson, who's the Houston coach, and he was, Hunter Yurachek was his AD, and the way Cal told it, that was, his call to Kelvin Sampson and getting a good, recommendation on Hunter as your AD, that helped maybe seal this deal. But yeah, it's a totally different world than it was in 2007. And who knows if he would have come to Arkansas. I mean, that team that he went back to went to the NCAA title game and lost to Kansas. So that was a pretty good team. He would have been leaving. But of course, now if things were like they are now, he could have come to Arkansas and Derrick Rose could have followed him. Derrick Rose, I think, was the number one pick, and obviously his career got sidetracked by a massive knee injury. But it's a totally different world than it was, I guess, 17 years ago, just in terms of player movement, and you're seeing a lot more one and done guys. So yeah, I think he felt better about coming to Arkansas because some of the players, I'm pretty sure, are probably going to follow him. But if they want to leave Kentucky or change their commitments, they can still go to Kentucky. They can go somewhere else. They can follow them at Arkansas. I mean, the players have a lot more freedom now, which I think is a good thing.
Let's close on a thought on some of the people that made this happen and what it might mean in the future. So much of the focus has been on now. Hunter Yurachek deserves a lion's share of the credit here for the conversation with Coach Cal that actually got him here. But without John Tyson, that conversation probably doesn't happen. But Hunter also mentioned Warren Stevens yesterday from Stevens Incorporated in Little Rock, and I wasn't aware that Stevens money had gotten involved in this, but that must be where the combination of funds for salary and NIL get involved here. And the thing that stands out here, Bob, is that the billionaires are getting involved in a way that maybe they hadn't in recent years or ever in some cases. This can't just be a one-time thing, but I know they also would like to see, regular, normal, average Arkansans, I think in their eyes, like doing their part too. But when the billionaires are getting involved, that can help you go a long way.
Well, obviously, it's kind of like a team, right? You need to have those first-round draft picks, but you also need to have the complementary players, the supporting guys. And so, guys like John Tyson, Warren Stevens, and their families, they're the first-round draft picks, so to speak, when it comes to helping bankroll the program. But, even as much money as those guys have, they really can't do it all. And if you noticed the press release yesterday when they emailed it out, it had all kinds of NIL stuff included too. And last night Hunter made a pitch for that. But when you make a hire that excites everybody, I mean, just like when Bobby Petrino got hired as the offensive coordinator, I think that I don't have any numbers in front of me, but I'm sure that helped their NIL situation, and this will really help it for basketball. And it sounded like they were going to have a better, I'll just call it a war chest, for lack of a better term, for basketball. But that's even gone to a higher level with hiring Cal, because I think that excites everybody, fans, and especially John Tyson and John Cal Perry have been friends for a long time, and John basically called Cal and said, this way the story was told. Called Cal today. You need to talk to my AD. He's a good guy. You're in Phoenix. He's in Phoenix. Y'all will get together. And maybe Cal in the back, and him and John Tyson are good friends. They may have said, "Hey, man, I think he wants to hire you. Let's hear what he has to say. I'll help." I don't know if those conversations took place, but it's hard to imagine they didn't. And then, but Hunter, he was trying. He doesn't know if Cal is going to come for sure, so he's, running the search. And obviously, they got to get somebody in here because they literally have no roster of scholarship players committed right now. And maybe some guys will come back out of the portal. Who knows? What'll happen? That'll be interesting. But John Tyson. It's funny. John Tyson might have gotten the biggest ovation last night. He gave a big ovation. Hunter acknowledged him, and the whole. There was estimated 7,000 people. And there was a lot of people. I mean, there might have been more people there than were some of the basketball games late in the year, about the same number. And the crowd started going crazy. And John was sitting there. And so he stood up and he waved, kind of doffed his cap, just like you see maybe a ball player taking a curtain call out of the dugout after hitting a home run. But I think he wanted to acknowledge the fans. And, getting the booster. I mean, you got to have a great coach. He needs to know X's and O's and all these things. And he needs to be a good recruiter that guys want to play for. But the NIL component, you just can't underestimate how big that is. It's just like having, a pro team. Well, what kind of salary are you going to have? What are you going to be able to pay these players? You're going to go out there and get the good free agents like you see major league teams or NFL teams or NBA teams do. Are you going to, give those guys, because they're getting offers from other schools too. So, and it's all legal now. So you got to go out there and be competitive with NIL if you're going to play at a high level.
Bob, we'll leave it there. I appreciate you hopping on. Thank you very much. And this will obviously be a point of conversation next week and in the near and far future. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Sorry if I sound a little punch drunk.
I don't blame you. I do not blame you. I can imagine you guys have been working. You're always working hard, but working a little harder than usual. Yeah. John Tyson had his own theme music yesterday. It was Chicken Fried by Zach Bryan. I liked how Hunter Yurachek had his own walkout music for his introduction. It was I know it was Black Sabbath. I don't remember the exact song. It was Black Sabbath. Might have been Crazy Train. It's actually a pretty good walk-up song for anything that's happening. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on the McLarty Daniel hotline. Our championship under construction conversation is presented by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimberdTeam.com. All right, we'll take a break. Your calls and texts coming up after this.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
On Saturday, April 27th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., NAFI and local law enforcement will host DEA's National Prescription Drug Takeback Day at locations across the region. Takeback Day offers free and anonymous disposal of unneeded medications at close to 5,000 local drop-off locations nationwide. Join us at Harrison City Hall, Boone County Sheriff Department, Mountain Home Police Department, or Tractor Supply and Mountain Home. For more information, contact Kyle Evett at 870-391-3367.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. You need the Limbird team, home of Arkansas's only instant offer program. Get a cash offer on your home in only 72 hours. Limbird Real Estate Group is the #1 team in Arkansas with over $1 billion sold and voted best of the best 10 years in a row, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and now the River Valley. Find out more at LimberdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
It's the inventory liquidation sale. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, 1 week only through Monday, April 15th, with state sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot.
Listen, I've got a Hummer in stock. I've got all kinds of stuff. If you got negative equity, I've got trucks with up to $6,500 rebates. If you just want a vehicle, I got new vehicles as low as 2.9% interest. If you want to get your credit reestablished, I've got lenders on site loaning tons of money. Credit scores as low as 480. Come out here and come see us. State sales tax paid, giving away 2 four-wheelers, the biggest sale in Sportsman's history. Come down and come see us.
Absolutely. More for your trade here than anywhere else. You got multiple appraisers on site to get you the best deal.
We've got people here driving cars. Just their job is just to drive cars and bid those cars. You can come up here and just sell us your car. I'll buy your car.
All right, Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith. You won't miss it because there's over 500 vehicles in stock. It's the inventory liquidation event, now through Monday, April 15th at Harry Robinson Buick GMC.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the Homestead Tax Credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The Homestead Tax Credit can save you up to $425 off of your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
Attention homeowners, storms are firing up quickly and widespread damage means thousands are reaching out for the right roofing company. Don't wait. Get on the schedule with Shamrock Roofing and Construction now for quality and peace of mind. One call does it all. Shamrock Roofing and Construction, call 479-319-5100. Need a new roof? Shamrock Roofing and Construction can have you covered right now for as low as $139.99 with approved credit. For quality and peace of mind, one call does it all. Shamrock Roofing and Construction, call 479-319-5100.
The Camping World RV Expo is coming to the Choctaw Casino and Resort in Pensacola, Oklahoma, April 18th through the 21st. Admission and parking are free. Tour over 50 fully staged new RVs starting at less than $5 a day. Plus, take advantage of special RV Expo pricing. Participate in the ultimate RV giveaway for your chance to win a new RV and more. Don't miss the Camping World RV Expo at the Choctaw Casino and Resort in Pensacola, Oklahoma, April 18th through the 21st. Learn more at campingworld.com/Pensacola. Certain restrictions apply. For more details, visit campingworld.com/Pensacola.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Made it 40 minutes into a sports talk show and not even mentioned that O.J. Simpson died today, age 76, cancer. I had not followed what's been going on with O.J. in the last, I don't know,
30
10
years. Yeah.
Well, really, I mean, remember there was that deal
92?
where he was imprisoned for false imprisonment in Vegas.
Thievery. Didn't he try to go get his memorabilia back or something?
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's the last time I really paid much attention. And then, of course, 30 years ago. I mean, we had a text in from somebody a moment ago that said they didn't even know who O.J. Simpson was. Be like, all right, sit down, crack open a drink. Let's talk for a little bit about one of the most wild lives in American history. I mean, going from hero to not just villain, but, I mean, double murderer. Yeah, acquitted, sure, okay. We don't need to relitigate all of that stuff. And I guess OJ never found the murderer. He said he was going to spend a lot of his life finding the murderer again, but yeah,
he ran out of mirrors. Yeah, he couldn't. It's like we all know.
Good point. Yeah. Good, very good point. Okay, Guy, he died yesterday. Fine, then I'll make me a
number
liar
32, Heisman Trophy winner. I heard somebody say this morning, Phil, the best player in Buffalo Bills history. Do you think if you're looking at Buffalo Bills, their talent? I think him and Joe Ferg might have been there for a little bit. They had some receivers with Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas.
2,000 yards in 14 games.
Nobody's done that ever before or since.
I just know I've got a very specific movie for C-Unit to watch so that we get the idea for him of the way that O.J. was viewed before the murders and how difficult it was to, see him portrayed the way that I think he probably was, which was not the gregarious and lovable actor who used to be a football player that did Hertz commercials. So that's something to get to in a little bit, too. Brent's on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Morning, Brent. How you doing?
I'm great, Bill. How about you and Matt?
Oh, it's a great day. Thank you.
Oh, man, it was a fantastic day yesterday with the baseball Hogs. Just keep on keeping on. And with Coach Calipari being announced here at the university, what a great day for Razorback athletics. Hey, Phil, can you tell me a little bit about Alabama baseball?
Alabama baseball has lost 4 straight. They were playing well until getting swept by Kentucky this last weekend, and then they lost to South Alabama in Tuesday's game. I think it was a come from behind loss in the 9th inning. So. Yeah, I think they were playing pretty well, and their program's in a better place than it was before with a coach that obviously had some other things to worry about.
We'll go with our same pitching rotation as last weekend, most likely.
I haven't heard anything announced by DVH, but I can't see a reason why anything would change from Hagan on Friday to Mason on Saturday and then Brady Taggart on Sunday. Although you could make the switch back to Taggart Saturday, Molina Sunday if you wanted to, because now you get the added day of rest since you're not playing a series that starts on Thursday like you have the last 3 weeks. But I wouldn't anticipate a change. There's really no reason to change anything right now.
And have we heard anything about the young man that they took out of the was it Deep that had to leave with elbow soreness?
Yeah, I think they have to get something checked out there. I think it might be a minute, more than a minute until he pitches again. I don't know if there's an injury or anything, but I think they've got to at least check and see. But I know it's been, he wasn't active the weekend before, so I don't know if I put much stock in Hunter Dietz's being that much of an impact for the rest of this season. I think in the future he really can be, and it just might not be this year.
And before I let you go, Is it just me, or does everything know when Sousa? Is it Sousa or Sosa?
Sousa, S-O-U-Z-A, Sousa, like John Phillip. Although that was with another S.
It seems everything he hits, even an out, is hard.
Yeah, you're right. The ball jumps off his bat in a way that makes it stand out. And even if you just watch him swing the bat, he gets it around quicker than most. He's a five-tool player. I enjoyed watching him play third base the last couple of days. Bubba and I were kind of arguing or just kicking around the idea of what position is he going to play when he does, because he's DHing right now. Bubba likes him at second base. I like him at third base. But I think either way, the kid can probably play anywhere. I think he could play anywhere in the outfield, anywhere in the infield, and he's got a gun for an arm, so he could probably pitch. I'm not saying he will, but he just seems to be a really, really good baseball player at everything. All right, I think Brent's gone. No, yeah, he is. Yeah, he left. So, yeah, Sousa stands out. He definitely stands out. He stands out to me in a way that that Heston Kjerstad did as a freshman. The only difference is that Kjerstad was opening day right fielder or left fielder and was hitting right there in the middle of the lineup, and he never sat. I don't remember if Kjerstad missed any games over the less than played a little more than 2 years because of that pandemic season. Just like Casey Martin. I mean, he was in that lineup every day as a freshman. Sousa, he's kind of like almost forced his way into the lineup because when he's been given the opportunity, he just rakes. He's on this 5 or 6 game stretch right now where you just can't take him out. And if he doesn't start the game, he'll come off the bench to face a right-handed pitcher. That's one of the pieces of depth of this team that stands out, is that you got guys on the bench who would start depending on what arm the pitcher throws with, but it doesn't mean they're not going to start because they're good hitters. They'll get a chance later on. Jack Wagner is one of them. Sousa's another one. Peyton Holt's another one, and I might be missing some guys because there's so much depth on this team. More calls and texts in just a moment. Brought to you by Riley Farm Dental. At the entrance to Riley Farm, they provide every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. Drs. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer, giving their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. They'll help you out with general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, and same-day crowns are available now as well at Riley Farm Dental. You find them at the entrance to Riley Farm off Highway 71 in Fort Smith, 226-3500 for an appointment, or visit RileyFarmDental.com. Sean in Fort Smith, stay on hold. We'll get to your call when we come back after this.
The inventory liquidation event. Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the place. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith all the way through Monday, April 15th. Over 500 vehicles available. State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle. And Adam, you could even win a couple of four-wheelers here at Harry Robinson.
Listen, I think our objective is to sell as many cars as possible. We're not going to pass up on any deal. I mean, no reasonable offer refused. We're giving away 2 four-wheelers. We're paying your state sales tax. I've got 600 cars in stock, guys. This is the biggest sale I've ever done in the history of the car business. I've been here 22 years. Come out, come see us.
We've combined the inventories of Salisal Ford and Harry Robinson Buick GMC for the biggest selection.
Yeah, I brought over 80 cars from Salisal, so you don't have to go anywhere. You just come here, get your state sales tax paid, register for a couple of four-wheelers. Man, you'll be good to go.
The inventory liquidation event going on now. Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the place. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith. Find extended hours every day at Harry Robinson Buick GMC.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. I want to talk about their pizza today. The Goob Special with extra pepperoni and rib rub on top. The Parm Special with double mushroom and jalapenos. Don't forget about the bacon cheeseburger and everyone's favorite, the old trash can. Swing on by Papa's Pub and Pizzeria at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith, or give them a call at 479-783-9941. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Insurance company throwing you a curveball? Are they crowding the plate and not offering you a fair settlement? If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need an experienced attorney to fight for you. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Licensed in Arkansas and Oklahoma, no win, no fee. Call Mock Legal Solutions today for your free consultation. 479-769-1505. Real advice, reasonable price.
Come get you some. 2728 Townsend Avenue is your off-road and performance center headquarters. They've got everything from lift kits, wheels, LED light bars, UTV parts and accessories, winches and tires. Need general 4x4 repair? No problem. Come get you some has one of the largest 4x4 shops in the States. They do it all, from installing a bug shield to building some of the baddest off-road machines in the country. Call them today at 782-6833. That's 782-MUD. Or check them out online at cgysoffroad.com. Come get you some.
Barrels and Brews Bottle Shop at the Hub in Chaffee Crossing has everything you need for your favorite activities. Our knowledgeable staff will be glad to help you with the current specials and our new arrivals of must-have bourbons and whiskeys. Hit the cooler for some of the coldest beer in town or choose from our large selection of amazing wines. Order online or call ahead Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. at the Hub in Chaffee Crossing. Barrels and Brews, voted best of the best in Fort Smith. It will put a smile on your face.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Great.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Calls and texts come in on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Take a phone call here from Sean in Fort Smith. CNN, I need you to hit the button there for me. It's not working on my laptop. Sean, thanks for calling halftime.
Yes, sir.
What's
Good
going
morning.
on?
How are you guys today?
Good, thank you.
I just want to say a couple of things. Matt Jones is the best football player to ever play at Arkansas. I don't care what anybody. And Darren McFadden and him are same page. I mean, there's nobody better than them two. And about the hire, I say we go ahead and be a super college and go get Nick Saban. Go ahead and give him the money, get him to come up there, and we'll just take it over.
Okay. I like you think big. He definitely thinks big. There's no success in thinking too small, right?
Hey, it's like why would I buy a Mountain Dew when I can get a Mountain Dew Max?
It's a very good point. Very good point. Why go the 80 proof when you can go the 100 proof?
You know?
I don't know. Saban seems to be. No, see, I mean, Cal is one of those guys, one of the older coaches who built programs before NIL and is trying to figure it out in the current landscape. Just like Izzo, you know. I mean, those are guys that decided to stick around. That think of all the other coaches that have left, and I mean, so there are other schools that would treat Saban and Jay Wright a little bit the same way. I mean, it's multiple national championship winning coaches there. It sounds to me like Jay Wright would rather go on a long walk off a short pier than be a college basketball head coach again. And I get the sense Saban's the same way.
Well, Jay Wright got out right before NIL. That question, Phil, as far as who's going to be the next Kentucky head coach, I saw last where Scott Drew turned him down, so to speak. So you don't know what's that, but Jay Wright did too, like you said.
Yeah, that's right. And I felt like what did I see something about yesterday? Coach Drew tweeted a photo from a Waco restaurant. He was out to dinner with one of his friends and probably a booster for Baylor basketball. And some Kentucky fan, or it might have been somebody with KSR, they're not looking the best these days either. They called the restaurant, spoke to one of the servers, and got her to go tell Scott Drew that he should be the Kentucky basketball coach. I don't know if that's the best advertisement for your fan base, especially for a coach who's been open about liking the size of where he lives and the tight-knit feel of it and everything. I mean, it's kind of like an invading on the guy's property there. But then again, if you tweet publicly and you're a public figure like that, anything can happen. But you're right. Look, Saban's not getting back in. I love the thought. I love the idea. But I think it would take more than $20 million and all the NIL and everything. The guy's got all of his achievements, and I don't think he feels he's got to prove anything anymore. With Cal, it's different. It feels like, there's something to prove all over again, right?
I like the idea of being a super college.
I don't even know what a super college is.
Let's be the first.
That kind of reminds me a little bit of like an academy where the boys, that great Amazon TV show, might have gone to. The super college. Very good. 877-377-6963 is our McClarty Daniel hotline. Second hour coming up in a moment.
The largest used car sales event in Fort Smith history is at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith. Combined inventories of Salisal Ford and Harry Robinson Buick GMC for the biggest selection the River Valley has ever seen.
Listen, this is a big sale. You can come out here, you can register. We got 2 four-wheelers we're giving away. We're doing state sales tax paid. Guys, if you're remotely in the market for a car, I did a deal yesterday. It was a $6,000 looser. Guys, if you're looking for a vehicle, come out here. I'm trying to liquidate a bunch of cars and reset this inventory. Our objective is to sell 200 cars this week. So, guys, listen, come out here, come buy a car. I'll make you a deal like never before.
Vehicles start as low as $49.95.
Man, I'm telling you, if you want a cheap payment, I did a car deal yesterday, $179 a month. Guys, come out here. I'll pay your state sales tax. Got 2 four-wheelers to give away, and I've got everything from $49.95 all the way up to Yukons.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith. Do not miss it. The inventory liquidation event now through Monday.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics. Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Call your local Shelter agent, Chris Dooley, at 479-646-6792.
When it's time for breakfast, Calico County is making it all from scratch. Got the dedicated early morning crew at Calico are cooking up and serving buttermilk pancakes, moist biscuits, rich waffles, country fried potatoes, 3 types of gravy, and of course their famous cinnamon rolls and much more. They serve all of this and a lot more 7 days a week until 11 a.m. Stop in, call ahead, or get it to go. Or just come by and pick up a dozen cinnamon rolls for the office. For breakfast, lunch, dinner, or catering, roll on into Calico County. They're home cooking good. Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue behind Randall Ford.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtech Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtech prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtech Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtech Technology without the headache.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, partly to mostly sunny sky. Our high temperatures this afternoon right around the mid to upper 60s. Winds quite strong, 25 to near 40 miles per hour. Mainly clear sky tonight, overnight low in the low to mid 40s. Friday, sunny skies, our high 70 to 75. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas.
Streaming on hitthatline.com.
Good one tonight. You got to take me here. That was respected.
Live from the Busch Lights studio.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Take it to the house.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no mock at halftime.
For one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field out.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Back on halftime, it is hour number 2, and we have no guests for really the next 90 minutes. Brett Dolan is joining Matt at 1:30 to talk about, well, anything that we can bring up, which basically will be about the new Arkansas basketball coach, John Calipari. Baseball series as well, starting tomorrow night in Alabama. I'm meeting the team here at 1:30, and that's why I got to get out in order to meet them. Track was on their way to Gainesville for a big weekend, but they were kind of gathered around the two buses when I got here today. You saw there is a really nasty storm in Gainesville, right all through Florida, with the exception of the Panhandle. I saw where there's a tornado near St. Augustine. But the two track teams were diverted to Tallahassee. So they're flying to Tallahassee, and then I think they're going to bus to Gainesville from there. So it sounds like it could be a real adventure for the track team. Hopefully not a big adventure for the baseball team, because hopefully we get at least 2 wins this weekend, and I don't see any reason why that's not going to happen, to be quite honest. And a team that's won 10 in a row, even though they've all been at home, I'm here to tell you that they can most definitely figure out a way to sweep the Crimson Tide. O.J. Simpson dead at 76. I meant to bring this up to you earlier, C-Unit. Do you have any understanding of O.J. Simpson as an athlete, as an actor? I mean, what's your knowledge of him?
I know he played football and was really good. I know he was acquitted of murder, and he probably did it because I kind of did some research on it, and it just seems like he did it. But I don't really know much else. I know he's kind of active on social media too.
He's it's not Kim, Khloe Kardashian's real father.
That's right. Yeah. Didn't
Robert Kardashian was on what do they call the group of lawyers?
Bruce Jenner.
The Dream Team?
It was the Dream Team, that's right. Kardashian, Jimmy Cochran, and
Kardashian's carrying the briefcase away or the duffel bag away that they never found that again. They got video of him carrying the duffel bag, and they're like, what's in that bag? Nobody's ever.
Did he go on a police chase? Yeah, that's right.
It's the most famous police chase probably in American history.
I don't understand how Bronco sales didn't just go through the roof.
I saw that Bronco on Pawn Stars like a couple of years ago.
Really?
Absolutely. I mean, it was authenticated and everything.
It's $100K, right? Like you'd have to pay at least $100K for that thing.
I think it was more than $100K.
More than $100K.
And the owner wasn't going to sell it either after all of that.
Now,
it was the authentic white Bronco. And remember that police chase. Not only is it the most famous police chase in history in maybe anywhere, but it was a low-speed chase. I mean, they were going like 20, 25 miles an hour on the freeways.
He wanted to go home, and who was he talking to on his cell phone? Was he talking to Ahmad Bradshaw or Bob Costas? He was talking to somebody that was like a big-timer news guy, and he was just trying to go home. And it came out later, because that's all you're right, they were going 30 miles down the interstate.
C-Unit, how can we put this into... So O.J. Simpson won the Heisman in '68 at USC. Then he goes on to a Hall of Fame career in Buffalo. And then he became a superstar that had, outside of football. I mean, he was like an American prince. He would go on Carson. He was on TV shows.
Hertz commercial.
Featured in movies. He was the Hertz rent-a-car guy. It was really famous commercials, too, running through the airport, leaping over all of the banks of seats and everything, and he was lovable. He was lovable. Everybody loved OJ.
Would you say he's the modern day Christian McCaffrey? To put it for Christian, to put it for C movie, to say, hey, this is the type of football player he was. He was a Christian McCaffrey because he could do it all. Like he could catch the ball out in the screen game, he could block, he could run over you, and he could run just past you.
He was also in a time where the NFL, you were building around great running backs, too. I mean, I kind of feel he's a little bit more like a Derrick Henry, just in the idea that they won Heisman's at powerhouse schools. I don't remember if USC won a national title while he was there, and then go on to great things in the NFL. Haven't played in a Super Bowl. OJ never did. Derrick Henry hasn't. Henry's obviously moved on to another part of his career with another team. I don't think OJ played for anybody else.
He played for San Francisco.
He did. That's right. But I don't think Derrick Henry is going to be doing movies. I'm not sure if he's got that kind of personality. OJ had that.
Well,
from
Jim
the start.
Brown, wasn't he kind of following what Jim Brown did?
That's right. I guess nobody would have thought Jim Brown had the personality for movies either, and he did have himself a little acting career. But then, I mean, the murders.
Yeah, double murder.
Just. I couldn't believe it. I was 17 years old. I'd never seen him as a football player, but I remember he was Nordberg on The Naked Gun, one of my favorite movies of my youth, which, by the way, I feel like C-Unit's got to be assigned The Naked Gun. If you want to really get a sense of how we all viewed OJ before the murders, Officer Nordberg from The Naked Gun is probably he was a Leslie Nielsen. The good guy in it, that was acting too, because I don't think it was at all. And anybody that was around at that time, like C-Unit, that was the biggest thing of the 90s. Truly, the chase, the trial. I mean, the
glove.
The glove. If it doesn't fit, you must have quit. I mean. Just televised trials became a thing from this.
They turned in that one cop into a racist. They were playing some other tape, but they were saying they were out to get him. Yeah, it was the defense, man. One of the best defenses ever. It's like up there with the Steel Curtain of the Pittsburgh Steelers, man. It was
absolutely, and really, you can kind of trace the 24-hour news cycle to the first Gulf War. That to me is probably where the 24-hour news cycle feels like it started. But the trials with Simpson happened in '94, and that was a few years after the war had ended. But it really picked up again. That was 24-hour news cycle. That's where Court TV came from, and I mean it's kind of like a culture watershed moment. That it brings it all back now, man. It really does. I can remember the feeling of it. Of no, this can't be him. That there's no way that's him. And it turned out it was. It just he got to live as a free man for the majority of the remainder of his life, which is just shocking. Yeah, and I'd forgotten about this. People are texting in the reminders that the Bronco chase occurred during the NBA Finals. That would have been '94. Who was that? Was that the Knicks in Houston?
The Rockets, yes, in New York Knicks. They were an 8 seed that made it that year.
The chase interrupted the finals. All right, they broke in to the NBA Finals with this chase. That's how big that was. Just, I can't imagine anything like it again. Really can't. 877-377-6963 when you want to get with us on that or anything else. Charlie's here on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Hi, Charlie. How are you?
What's up, guys? So, C-Unit, you got your hit. I'm going to call you C Maestro today because you got all kinds of nicknames. You got your history on OJ, right? I mean,
most
you got
of it,
down?
I think. Most of it, yes.
I'm kind of like you. That's kind of what I remember him for, Phil. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm only a little bit older than C-Unit, so that's kind of where I am with OJ. I understand he was a great player and all that, but I kind of go right to the whole murder thing too. I didn't even remember the chase. So you're saying I need to go watch Naked Gun too? Is that correct? Because Is this how?
Yeah, go do your homework this weekend, Charlie, and report back on Monday. I know you will.
I will. Whatever you guys want me to do. Okay, let me stop there. Just depends. As long as it's rated PG or whatever it is. But I will do it. I will watch it, and I will get back with you guys, definitely. But I wanted to point out something yesterday when I was listening to Cal. And, Matt, I'm sure you've heard it this way before, too. A lot of times when coaches or when people talk about coaches and they define a coach as a player's coach, you know, people kind of perceive that as a coach being soft, right? And I don't know. That's just kind of how – and I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of thinking that way. And he made a great point is that, you know, you can be a player's coach, but you can also hold them accountable and be extremely hard on the kids. And I liked how he put that. You know, he quickly, as soon as he started, whether it be with the fans, the media, I mean, he stole the room, man. There were questions that were asked sometimes, Phil, yesterday that I didn't even remember what was asked once he started talking. I mean, he's unbelievable.
Yeah, like everything Chuck brought up to him was kind of designed to just let Cal run with it. Take this question, run with it for a few minutes, and he did.
And he's great at it, and he's great at it. And I think he you know, just I didn't even know about where he grew up. You know, I had not heard all that, and that was a cool story to hear. And you know, it was just I'm excited. You know, I know he made a joke about it, but he was telling the truth. I kind of don't have a team right now, guys. You know, and everybody laughed. You know, but you know, I really don't have a team right now, so we got to figure that out. But you know, it's crazy to think that. I think Alyssa, didn't she say this the other day, Matt? They're already got the 14th best odds as winning the national championship Vegas-wise because of Cal.
Yeah.
That's insane. So, anyway, this is Cal effect, and that might go up. But I'm excited. He's going to figure this thing out. He'll get us rolling. And I'm glad he pointed out the fact that Musk did a hell of a job here, too. So, anyway, he did a great job yesterday, and it was exciting. I just want to point that out. Y'all have a good one.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah.
And
what is being a player's program? What does being a player's coach mean to you, man?
Well, and it was the 99 Knicks that were their 8th seed. Phil, what he said, and this is one thing that I heard him say. He said what he's here to do is to get players to do things they didn't think they could do. You know, to push them to their limit, and then to make them feel good about it. That's kind of what a player he's trying to get the most out of you, and then when you have success, he's there. It's sports psychology 101. It's the same. That's why he is a player's coach. He's trying to push you to your limits and then tell you how pretty you are while you're doing
it, and then send you off for the remainder of your life.
Knowing that if you work hard, if you work hard and you put the time and the effort, and Phil, players want to be coached. They want you to show that you care. They want you to push yourself.
Can I say that? I mean, going by this definition, and I've thought about this before. There's already, I'm sure there are other players, coaches on campus that I'm not thinking of at the top of my head here. Dave Van Horn is a player's coach. That's the way he coaches a baseball team. I've seen that with Mike with women's basketball too.
Houston Nutt was like that. I think Deion Sanders is a lot like that. You know, that's and you can have both ends of the spectrum, Phil. You can have a Calipari, a Deion Sanders, and then you can have a Dave Van Horn as far as how the spotlight goes. You know, it's that I think Calipari takes some of that light to kind of shield the players. You know, to kind of put it on him. Like if it does go bad, it's like, hey man, that's on me. You know, and if it goes good, hey, look how good my players did.
I mean, and maybe this isn't the right way to put it, because you are defined in college basketball, especially at a place like Kentucky, and I think a place like Arkansas too. What happens in the postseason? It's the same with baseball. You'll have a great regular season. SEC championships mean something. Division championships mean something. Regular season awards definitely mean something, because that's like 3 or 4 months worth. But it's all being done to set you up to put you in the best possible position to have a run in the postseason. So is John Calipari not still a Hall of Fame level coach just because Kentucky in the last 3 tournaments they played in, and of course there was the one year they didn't make the tournament, didn't make it to the Sweet 16 or the Elite 8 or the Final Four? Like, they made the Final Four, what was it, 4 times in 5 years? That was 10 to 14 years ago. Like, the accomplishment of taking 3 teams to a Final Four is one thing, 3 different schools. To be in the Final Four in men's basketball, and this happened in women's basketball too a few times, to be in the Final Four 4 times in 5 years, I don't think he's forgotten how to put a team together. I don't think he's forgotten how to win games in March. It just might need a little bit of tweaking as far as the roster construction, Matt. And I heard him talk about that yesterday as to how you're going to put the team together. You're going to bring in really talented high school talent. You're going to have guys that are still there who have been playing for you for a year or 2. And then you're going to go out and try to find a couple, 3 players through the transfer portal to make it all stick together. That's what he said yesterday. I'd like to see a team that's built like that. That's not just made up of 4- and 5-star high school kids that are all coming in the same class, 7 or 8 of them, and inevitably somebody's going to get upset because they're not playing very much, transfer away, and yeah, I mean you're facing bigger grown men like they did with Oakland. In the tournament. And then the other idea is just like, look, that Kentucky team against Oakland, they just didn't hit shots that they were hitting in the regular season. So I don't know. I feel like the program will be set up to be able to compete the way that they have in the regular season, the way that Kentucky has in the regular season, and then be set up to make a run. He didn't forget how to coach, Matt. I don't think he forgot how to coach at all. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on our McClarty Daniel hotline. Back in just a moment. First, want to remind you about Wood Power Sports. When you are looking for your next side-by-side, motorcycle, ATV, or zero-turn mower, don't look any farther than your local Wood Power Sports store. They got locations in Harrison, Springdale, and Fayetteville, and over 9 brands to choose from. If you can think of it, they probably have it at Wood Power Sports. Talking about Can-Am, Polaris, Kawasaki, Yamaha, CF Moto, Suzuki, KTM, Hustler, and Honda. 3 convenient locations, Harrison, Springdale, and Fayetteville. They'll provide you with outstanding service and parts capabilities, even offer deliveries. You can also go online to woodpowersports.com. Stay with Halftime. We'll be back in just a moment.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
The inventory liquidation event. Harry Robinson Buick GMC exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith. We've told you about selection. We've told you about price. We've told you about payments for 90 days that can be deferred. Sales tax paid on every vehicle. But beyond that, 30 lenders are on site to get you the best deal and the lowest payment. And you've got multiple appraisers to make sure you get the absolute most for your trade.
And when you come up here, you can register for a four-wheeler or 2 four-wheelers, and we're going to give those away. Guys, if your credit score is a 490 or if your credit score is an 890, it doesn't matter. We're going to get you financed. I guarantee it. Got close to 600 cars here on the lot. I've got lifted trucks, lowered trucks, cars, trucks, vans, SUVs, all makes, all models. We are truly trying to sell 200 cars this week. Come down, come see us. I'll make you a deal you can't refuse.
Plus over 70 years of financing experience on the desk.
Yeah, you don't have to go down to Towson or a buy here, pay here to get financed. Come out here and come see us. Man, I will get you financed.
The inventory liquidation event through Monday. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. West Ark Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact West Ark Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drains, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. West Ark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call West Ark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with The Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call The Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $425 off of your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Chill, not on the side, it's my ego because one on my tongue, be like insect, breath in my mouth is blue, so while I get dream of juice, I can rebel make out the dark my way. This way, it's the main day, say, play the track, get back to correction. Congratulations! Change a lot of things, I'm stuck. Know that we have only been down. If I ever did anything to you, then just let me do it now. Go back in, I bet you got a big stop. Stop for me now. There's music that I told you so. You know, we want this. Change a lot of things, I'm stuck. Know that we have only been down.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
So Hunter Yurachek said yesterday, Matt, that the only offer that was extended to a coach was extended to John Calipari. So according to Hunter Yurachek, the reports of Chris Beard turning the Razorbacks down or Jerome Tang were not true. And Scott Drew has turned down Kentucky, although, you never get when you get the statements from the coaches, they don't say, I'd like to thank so-and-so for the offer, or, I'm not going to take the job there is basically what they say. And I didn't realize Drew's got a strong relationship with Mitch Barnhart, but it sounds like he's got a stronger relationship with Baylor and the Waco community, so he's turned him down. They're not going to be able to get Dan Hurley. It doesn't sound like Dan Hurley is interested at all in doing anything other than winning a three-peat at UConn. So those were the two leading candidates. Nate Oates has basically already said he's recommitted to Alabama. Kentucky's this might be a longer coaching search than they expected.
Well, isn't that how it works? They contact you, whether we contacted Chris Beard and Jerome Tang and all that. Like, you contact somebody and then they talk to their people too. Like, that's the beginning of it, and then your people come back and say, no, we want you here if you want to be here, and that's how you get a bigger deal.
Mm-hmm. Let's go take a phone call from Eddie in Amity. Hey, Eddie, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm sitting on my big rock in the front yard with my feet on a big pine tree stump, and I thought of a kind of like a saying, and it's instant blue blood. We Arkansas Razorbacks are the instant blue blood of the nation.
Well, sometimes I don't even know if there's like a true definition for what a blue blood is. But Cal said Arkansas is a blue blood. Put it up there with Duke and North Carolina and Kentucky. I mean, what's missing are the multiple national championships. Not the trips to the Final Four, not national players of the year, and first-round picks, guys that are stars in the NBA. It's just multiple national championships, I think, that you're missing. But that's also a little bit of a, I don't know. It's a white elephant conversation. You are what your program is. You basically are what your coach is. That's what it was. Was Kentucky a blue blood when Billy Gillispie was coaching them for 2 years? No, they got rid of him because they were terrible. They weren't any good. I think your program is what your coach makes it. And so Cal will build Arkansas in his eyes of what a blue blood is supposed to look like. And what that tells me, Matt, is you get great talent. You get great talent, whether they're incoming freshmen or whether they're transfers. That to me is what I hear when I hear blue blood. Yeah, I know it's about what's happened in the past, but let's put it in terms of the here and now. Huge fan support, booster support, talent. We know you got the fan support. Now you got the booster support. Now it's a matter of putting the talent together. And they'll play for Cal, won't they?
I think he's a player's coach. I mean, it puts us. We got a seat at the. You've seen the movie, The Program. Great sports movie. And
love that movie.
The defensive end. He goes out there and he headbutts the car, but he comes back and checks the two deep, and he's like starting defensive end, a place at the table. That's what we are. I mean, with Coach Cal, we're sitting at the table. We're there. We have a chance every year that he's our coach to win a national title.
So you're sitting at that table with Cal as the coach, but also with the war chest, if we can call it that, what Bob Holt referred to as the NIL fund, coming from. And I don't know if the NIL is coming from Stevens or from Tyson, but I don't really care, to be honest. I know that it's there, and they're still calling for more donations and members to Arkansas Edge, and I think that probably happens with this too. Heck, I mean, we had Melvin from Sheridan call in and say for the first time ever he felt like he was ready to donate to basketball, I think is what he said specifically. But, nobody uses the term blue blood with professional sports. We throw the term dynasty in there or, just great organization like the Steelers are blue blood in the NFL. The Chiefs are now a blue blood in the NFL, that kind of thing. Well, they have to make smart decisions. You've got to use your resources properly. And, man, I mean, so much of it goes to what can you offer players outside of the facilities, outside of anything that has anything to do with hard, cold cash. And that's a thing now that might separate Arkansas from some of the other programs nationally and in the Southeastern Conference. Like, that will be the thing. Grant Nelson and Hunter Dickinson, right? We bring those up all the time, Matt. They both gave Arkansas a look. Heck, they gave Kentucky a look. You lost out on Nelson, I think, for more than anything because of NIL money. Nelson even said, I saw after their loss in the Final Four, he's talking about maybe NBA draft, but if that doesn't happen for him, then he didn't recommit to Alabama if he went back to college, but he said something to the effect of it's something that he would love to do. He didn't commit to go to Alabama. There's a guy right there that's looking for the next paycheck in college basketball if it doesn't come in pros.
What's he worth, Phil? I don't know if C Unit remembers the Beckett Monthly that you would get, and you'd check your baseball cards, and it'd have a little arrow by it, 75 cents, 38, whatever, going up or down. What is Grant Nelson worth? Is he worth $500K? Because if he is 100%, you offer him. I just don't know what. Is he getting 1.5 mil? Is he getting 6 mil? How much of the is he taking? If it's $500,000, don't you offer him? You're like, yes, sir.
Right. Now the fund, which we figured might be something around $500,000 per 10 players, not everybody's going to be making the exact amount. I think you dole it out the same way that a general manager would for a professional team. This player means this much to this program, so there's going to get a certain percentage compared to somebody else. There are a couple other big men, too, to look at as well. And they're both currently, well, I guess Aaron Bradshaw, who's the 7'2" center, was a top recruit coming into Kentucky this year. He's in the portal. And Big Z, I don't know if I could say his name properly, Ivanisevic or Ivanovic. Remember, he was the guy that couldn't get to Kentucky or couldn't enroll until I think it was late December. And so he got started late, had an okay season for a freshman coming over from Lithuania. I think he was a sophomore. He's already posting a whole bunch of stuff on his Instagram about Cal being the Arkansas head coach. There's a couple guys right there that are centers right now that already have a relationship with Cal. To me, I'm thinking either one of these guys may end up being at Arkansas very soon.
Grant Nelson, Trevin Brazile. That's kind of the same type of player that if you're looking at. And so I don't know what Brazile's thinking if he thinks all of a sudden he's going to be a lottery pick. But those are the same type of guy. Nelson, if you were to say, what does Brazile do well? What does Nelson do well? And do a checkbox thing, Brazile might have a better outside shot and might have more athletic ability. Everything else would go under Nelson. Defense, IQ, everything else except for an outside, and Brazile might have a little more athletic ability. But that's what you're looking for. If you get Grant Nelson, that's your forward. That's your power forward right there.
Heck, and he's got a year under his belt in the Southeastern Conference. He's had a run in the NCAA tournament, but that's the kind of player that you might have lost out on previously that now you don't lose out on. I mean, that's what's in my mind.
And maybe
you got the funds, you got the right coach, right?
Yeah, and if you get somebody around Brazile and say, watch Grant Nelson play basketball, you're more athletic than him. How is he better than you? You know, that's how are you letting this kid be better than you when you're more athletic than him?
That's right. 877-377-6963 calls and texts on the McLarty Daniel hotline. Matt, who was it? Mason and Conway texted in. He wanted to know who our picks are for the Masters. I told him I'm just going to have to defer to Matt Jones about any of this because I'm not. Now, here's the thing. I'll be in Tuscaloosa this weekend. We got a 6:00 game tomorrow. Of course, got to host the show. Got a 5:00 game on Saturday, and then 1:00 on Sunday. So this would be a weekend. I don't watch much golf. I'm not into it. I don't play golf enough to really care all that much. For all of you who do love golf, that's great. I can't really talk about it very much. But I'll watch a little bit of the Masters this weekend, probably more on Saturday, just kind of sitting around the hotel room figuring it out. But who's going to win the Masters, Matt? Because I can just say, yes, I agree with him.
Well, there's a couple people. My three that I was going with was a Victor Hovland, Rory McIlroy as my two favorites. That if you're just picking favorites, Rory and Victor Hovland, and then my dark horse would be Ricky Fowler. You got is it Taylor Moore, the Arkansas kid? Be pulling for him. How do you?
Did you say Scheffler? Did you say Scotty Scheffler?
John Rahm, Scotty Scheffler, and who's the? There's three of them that Xander Schauffele. Those three are those are the three best. You always take those guys. Those are no brainers. But I'm saying Rory and Victor Hovland kind of there with them. But yes, you're exactly right. John Rahm, Scotty Scheffler, and Xander Schauffele are just right now. They're playing the best golf there's nobody playing better than those three.
Well, isn't part of the big story really in the next 2 days is whether or not Tiger can make the cut? I think he's supposed to tee off in about 90 minutes.
He's last year he makes the cut then withdraws. It's just it's a weird thing. He can't play all 4 rounds, but he wants that record to try to make the cut. Can he make the cut? Yeah, the cuts he can make. I mean, he goes out there and shoots even 1 under. He'll make the cut.
877-377-6963 if you want to get into the Masters with Matt. And all the odds on the Masters right now available on BetSarrazin, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app. Want to put a little wager on the Masters or any other golf tournament over the next few months or the NBA playoffs coming up. Hey, NBA basketball, college football, preseason odds, Major League Baseball's right in the middle of the swing in April. It's all on BetSarrazin. For Apple users, download it from the App Store. For Android users, go to Google Play or just go to any web browser and type it in at BetSarrazin.com. Stay with Halftime. We'll be back in just a moment.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and...
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McCarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McCarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McCarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the #1 source for all your sports betting this season and every season. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends all at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. The fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite leagues and events. Go to betonline.ag to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure you use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. Bet online, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at
ever seen.
Yeah, guys, I've got new cars out here. Special rates on new cars as low as 2.9. Come out here and come see us on one of those. Rebates up to $6,500. Come out and come see us.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the place. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
I know when to go out. Stay in. Get things done.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Back on Halftime, 877-377-6963 for your calls and texts on the McClarty Daniel hotline. With the Masters, Matt, you're going to be over at the All-American Steakhouse and Sports Theater tomorrow. Great place to watch the Masters, so that's where Halftime takes place tomorrow. I'll be in, I'm assuming, I'm going to try to get into Sewell Thomas Stadium, the home of Alabama baseball. Might have to break in, but we'll see. Brought a couple of sharp objects in case I need to. You don't want to try to break the windows because then they'll know exactly what's going on.
The All-American Steakhouse is a spot, that's for sure. They got
Absolutely.
TVs galore.
I'm envious, man.
Have the Masters on, yeah.
You get all that great food tomorrow. They just keep bringing the food over and over and over, and I'm going to be kind of like watching you eat, drooling. Save me a wing, okay? Their wings are outstanding.
I'll throw it to you.
So let's see. Cal is the next Arkansas head coach. I got a text in earlier here from somebody that said John Tyson, was he an SMU grad that he executed this whole thing, this whole chain of hirings that went from SMU to USC to Arkansas to Kentucky, and then we'll see where it goes from there. This is fascinating. I mean, it really is. It's look at the chain of coaches that changed jobs after Saban left. But it started with Saban leaving. DeBoer going to Alabama, Fish going to Washington. I can't remember who was hired as the Arizona football coach. But now this is the job that it will open up the next one. Doesn't sound like Billy Donovan was all that interested. He said he's focusing on his team and trying to make a playoff push with the Bulls. Scott Drew has said no. You're not getting Dan Hurley. I don't think he even has to say no. He's already said, I'm interested in a three-peat. Bruce Pearl? Nate Oates is not happening. Bruce Pearl, someone who knows how to win in the SEC. I mean, that would be a fit. To me, the Kentucky job means you got to have a big personality, especially if you're following somebody like Cal. You don't have to be him, but I think you got to have a personality. Pearl's got that.
I don't think Bruce Pearl's been offered the job. Because if he's offered the job, it's a no-brainer.
You think? Yeah. Well, he's built himself a really good thing at Auburn. I mean, a really good thing at Auburn, where you don't have to worry about trying to sell out a 25,000-seat arena. It's a 9,000-seat arena, and they got a great home court advantage. He's making over $5 million, but an extra $3 million that'd be difficult to turn down. Yeah, but I'm assuming that that might be a call that gets made.
Both those teams took first-round L's.
That's right. Well, you're right about that. Auburn, did they take a first-round L in the tournament too, in the SEC tournament?
No, I think they might have won their first game there in the SEC tournament.
Pinto asked, will Ronnie Brewer be a holdover? I hope so.
He's a no-brainer holdover. Yeah, he's a player. He's a go-between. He's a players guy, NBA guy, Arkansas guy. There's everybody loves him. He's a no-brainer. Kind of like with Cadillac Williams at Auburn, but a little bit more toned down. Where I don't think Ronnie's trying to be the head coach. You know, he's the players guy that can still speak the same lingo and talk and you know make sure everything's they're all good.
So you keep thinking about the idea. You're going to put the team together. You got to put a coaching staff together. Does that happen before going after players, or is this a situation where you can is that walking and chewing gum at the same time? But it would seem to me that you need your guys to help you recruit. So I think you got to build a staff. Maybe that's first.
Well, it's like anything, Phil. I'm pretty sure the relationship he's had with players and coaches over the last 30, 40 years, that he has a short list and he's in constant communication already. You know, you're taking somebody from Kentucky to here. We're not taking somebody who wasn't in the mix. So I think it'd be an easy transition for him. And I think he probably has a pretty good idea of who's coming here. Did we get to see? You know, we saw what we saw. Was it the A&M guys contract that said this is how much money you have for assistant coaches? Did we get to see how much money does he have for assistant coaches?
The pool? No, I don't know that. I don't know the dollar figure, but I do think. Look, I mean, if you're going to give the coach, $7 million and have a fund for NIL that's either 5 or 6, and I don't know which one to believe, you've got to have a pool for assistant coaches too, and it's got to be attractive for Cal to feel like he can put the right kind of staff together. So that would only make sense that there's got to be a really good pool for that as well. Brandon wants to know if Calipari would be considered a Yinzer. So he's from Moon Township, which is where the airport's located, right outside Pittsburgh. And I've never heard, I didn't hear what his parents sounded like, but Calipari does not sound like a Yinzer. In fact, he sounds a little more like he's from New York or Jersey. Look, I know he's from Pittsburgh. He's not from New York or New Jersey. He just has a little bit of that, a little bit of that accent. He doesn't sound like a Yinzer, but I'm sure he understands Pittsburghese. So at some point, whenever I get a chance to shake his hand and introduce myself, I'll be like, all right, Yin's going to go downtown watch the Steelers. He'll know exactly what I'm saying. I would assume he might even laugh at it. But no, he's not a Yinzer. Not all Pittsburghers are Yinzers, but all Yinzers are Pittsburghers. And that might actually be factually incorrect because you hear a lot of that same accent from Eastern Ohio. Let's get a phone call in from Cecil on the McLarty Daniel hotline. Cecil, good to hear from you. What's up?
Hey, fellas, how y'all doing?
Good, thank you.
I kind of just slid in the conversation when you was saying who turned the jobs down. I'm not a coach, but just watching and just, playing when I played and whatever, I just know that's just a really stressful job. And to walk away from $33 million, I mean, that was probably a big relief for that man to come to Arkansas. He knows it's a kickback state, good place to be, nice people. And he just walked away from it. He's getting the same amount of money just about. And the coach over in Baylor, I mean, he's comfortable in Waco. I mean, sometimes money ain't everything. It's just, it's the health issue, stress, high blood pressure. And man, we don't know. Don't nobody know yet, but the ones that need to know. But the man already got what he gonna do. He got a plan A, believe it. I can't wait. I'm very excited, big time excited, man. So I'm gonna hang up and I'm gonna keep listening. Y'all have a great day.
Okay, thank you very much, Cecil. And then a call from Jim in Fayetteville, and then we'll break. Hey, Jim, you're on the air. What's going on?
Appreciate it, Phil. You guys were talking about the Kentucky vacancy and everybody turning it down. What about breaking the ceiling and hiring Dawn Staley?
Look, I think Dawn Staley could coach men's basketball. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But I don't think that's going to happen in Kentucky. Not now. I don't think that their hire will be the groundbreaking hire out of women's basketball. Now, I appreciate where you're coming from. I really do. I'd like to see this at some point. But this is also a time-honored conversation that was said also about Pat Summitt. She never got the chance or wasn't interested in it. I don't know. Gino Auriemma could coach men. I'm sure of that, and I'm sure Dawn Staley could too. I don't see it happening at Kentucky right now. But I like where your head is in part there, Jim. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, Ryan's right. Yeah, Cal doesn't say Don. If you're going to be a Yinzer, you say downtown instead of downtown. I think he says downtown. Or now Town Square, because all of our towns in Arkansas have one of those. 877-377-6963. Our championship under construction conversation brought to you by Maverick Male Medical, your wellness and aesthetic center for men in Northwest Arkansas. Look better, live better, love better. Visit MaverickMaleMedical.com and stick with Halftime. We are right back in a moment.
This is Halftime.
Spring is just around the corner, and Jelco Outdoors is ready with all of your spring fishing gear. Crappie, bass, catfish, Jelco has a great selection of rods, reels, and baits to help you fill that stringer. Spring turkey supplies are rolling in daily, and the firearms department is stocked up with ammo for outdoor shooting. Spring is almost here, so get outdoors and enjoy the spring season. Stop by Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith, for all your outdoor gear. Think spring, think Jelco Outdoors.
Sunday morning. You can smell it. Game day. And the brisket you've been smoking since last night. A day to be with family, aka fellow football fans. Traditions make Sundays easy to enjoy. Beers do too. Bud Light. Easy to Sunday, easy to enjoy. Bud Light is the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus, copyright 2023, Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
It's the inventory liquidation sale. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, 1 week only through Monday, April 15th, with state sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot.
Listen, I've got a Hummer in stock. I've got all kinds of stuff. If you got negative equity, I've got trucks at up to $6,500 rebates. If you just want a vehicle, I got new vehicles as low as 2.9% interest. If you want to get your credit reestablished, I've got lenders on site loaning tons of money. Credit scores as low as 480. Come out here and come see us. State sales tax paid, giving away 2 four-wheelers, the biggest sale in Fort Smith's history. Come down and come see us.
Absolutely. More for your trade here than anywhere else. You got multiple appraisers on site to get you the best deal.
You know, we've got people here driving cars. Just their job is just to drive cars and bid those cars. You can come up here and just sell us your car. I'll buy your car.
All right, Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith. You won't miss it because there's over 500 vehicles in stock. It's the inventory liquidation event, now through Monday, April 15th at Harry Robinson Buick GMC.
Do you need gutters but think they're too expensive or that you need to get the soffit or fascia ready? No worries. Call the Gutter Guy. He does it all. No need to call multiple companies to get the right gutters for your home. Call the Gutter Guy. Quality, low maintenance, leak-free gutters with a 5-year warranty. The Gutter Guy also does vinyl siding and windows. The Gutter Guy. Over 30 years experience. Call 226-1259. Call the Gutter Guy.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics? Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Call your local Shelter agent, Chris Dooley, at 479-646-6792.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Two tabs on your tongue. I heard the shepherds, I heard the sheep, sleep now my only one. Sweetheart, who sleep apart.
Back into halftime live from the Crabtree RV Studios, Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
I know that song. Okay, I'm going to try to watch the Pirates again tonight, Matt. I've only watched one game. It was a loss to the Washington Nationals. They keep winning when I'm not watching. 9-3, second best record so far in the National League. They got the Phillies today, First pitch 5:40 Central Time, so I should be able to be in the hotel getting ready for this Alabama series, put the Pirates on. I don't know why I'm trying this, because when I tried it, they had won their first 6 games, and then the first game I watched, they lost. Every game I watch with Arkansas, they're winning, and so far every game I watch with the Pirates, they lose. This is called scientific evidence.
Well, you got Gerard Jones. Maybe it's Yared Jones, but maybe it's 2 soft J's. Yared Jones is on the bump for Pittsburgh. And then Ranger Suarez, who you would think would be for the Texas Rangers. I mean, you got to have him. They need to make a trade right there. Where's Jonah Hill and Brad Pitt and Moneyball calling up getting Ranger Suarez to the Rangers?
Well, I don't know if they're working for the Athletics anymore. Have I even brought up the idea of the Athletics playing at a AAA park for the next 3 years?
I thought they were a
Sacramento?
AAA team. I thought that's was what kind of they.
I think they're AAA teams that would have been able to beat them last year.
They should have.
Heck, their AAA team might be better than the big league team.
I was going to say they should have taken whatever the AAA All-Stars were, just taken both those rosters and put them on that and let's just see what they could do.
It's just so amazing how the Athletics were the impetus to this analytics revolution in baseball with Moneyball, and now everybody's looking at things in a different way because the Athletics looked at things in a different way back when. No one's going to follow this blueprint to run an organization. No one will do that. I've never heard of a team playing 3 years in a AAA ballpark so that they can hopefully build a ballpark that hasn't even been finalized yet in Las Vegas. And part of the irony of this is that they're playing in the Giants AAA ballpark. Used to be the Athletics AAA park, Sacramento, but now that's the Giants AAA ballpark. And it's probably a little bit nicer than Oakland Coliseum, but it can't really be that much nicer. You know all the things they'll have to do? They're going to be sharing this ballpark with a AAA team. This is a major league ball club. They're supposed to be in big open clubhouses, and they're supposed to be double-deck stands, heck, triple-deck stands and everything. This is just not going to work. It's not a good look for Major League Baseball. And, hey, if there are 2 franchises that I would like to see get sold, one of them is my team, the Pirates. I don't care how good they are right now, because with Bob Nutting as the owner, they'll never have a sustained run. And the Athletics, because John Fisher literally killed baseball in Oakland, literally killed it in Oakland and did not care one bit. And, if there are 30 Major League teams, no, there's 29. And then another one that I don't even know what to call it. Last hour of halftime coming up. Calls and texts on the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. Back in just a moment.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisaw.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster. And in the past decade as a roofing contractor, he knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag Technology without the headache.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, partly to mostly sunny sky. Our high temperatures this afternoon right around the mid to upper 60s. Winds quite strong, 25 to near 40 miles per hour. Mainly clear sky tonight and overnight low in the low to mid 40s. Friday, sunny skies, our high 70 to 75. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Well, Jones, take it to the house.
You both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my hot dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
Even one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963.
Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Moving along into our third hour of halftime. It is so great to be with you. It is a beautiful day to be up in the air flying with an Arkansas baseball team in about 30 minutes. Team arriving here at the XNA Regional Jet Center in about 5 minutes or so. They're going to work out later tonight at Sewell Thomas Stadium, the home of Alabama baseball. Start the series tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. Next two series will be on the road on the weekends. With South Carolina next week. Texas Tech will be an interesting midweek series coming up next week. That is a pretty good Texas Tech team. We have time for calls and texts as we get through these first couple of segments of our third hour. Brett Dolan is coming up at the bottom of the hour. He'll be talking with Matt Jones. So get in with us if you want to now at 877-377-6963. I don't see any updates on any roster building at Arkansas right now or any hires for the coaching staff. You know, Cal did say yesterday, Matt, that it might take a little bit longer to build things than it used to take. You know, guys do get a month to figure out what they're going to do as far as Kentucky's concerned, and I guess that's where we're all looking to, the Kentucky roster, and wondering how many of them or how many of the guys that would have been on the roster next year may end up being a Razorback. And that's where you get a sense of maybe, you know, a guy who views himself as a player's coach. Some of those players may want to follow you to the next place, and instead of being a Wildcat, be a Razorback. Yeah, B wants to know if Bohannon's going to be there rooting for Arkansas. That's funny. I have no idea what's happened with Brad Bohannon in his life or his career, but I have a feeling he's been staying away from Sewell Thomas Stadium. Although now that I think of it, I don't know if he's been banned from even being around. Like Pete Rose couldn't even walk inside a Major League Stadium. Like being banned from baseball means literally being banned from being around the sport. I don't think that happened with Bohannon. He just can't coach. Do you imagine him walking in to a stadium, paying his way to get in, to go watch a college baseball game, and then sitting there and kind of feeling like Brockmeyer's been fired? You're just watching from afar.
That Brockmeyer, that would be anybody out there that hasn't seen Brockmeyer. That's some good stuff right there.
That's some late night viewing, I think.
It was on IFC for Amanda Pete and the Simpsons guy. You know, he does all the voices. He's in
Hank Azaria.
Yeah, he's in Something's About Mary. He was, I think he dated Phoebe Buffay in Friends for a little bit, like on the show Friends. But he's absolutely hilarious. Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah, that's viewing for make sure the kids are asleep. Probably the best way to handle that. Rod is on I-40, and he is with us here on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Hey, Rod, good afternoon. How are the roads? Rod, are you there? Sounds like he's got a turn signal going right now. He's got something to worry about as far as the traffic is concerned, so we'll try Rod in a moment. If you want to get on with us, now's the time. 877-377-6963 on for your calls and texts. Let's see here. Yeah, B likes the opening scene of Brockmire. It's pretty funny. He likes Letterkenny too. That one would fit. Let's see if we can try Rod one more time. Rod, are you there? Are you on the roads? What's going on?
Yes, sir. Just leaving. Thought I'd chime in on new basketball coach, Great Scott.
No
I did not
kidding.
see that coming. That
Yeah,
was.
I didn't either.
This is heavy.
Heavy
I had
in
an
the Marty
idea
McFly
yesterday.
sense.
Yeah,
Yes.
is something wrong with the Earth's gravitational pull?
Yes, I had an idea. You were talking about the weather in the app the other day on the baseball game, and I was thinking we could keep statistics on how right they are.
Well, they
like a
were
batting
wrong
count.
about 100%. That's the problem. It's like if I hear it's 100% chance of rain, well, you better be right. It's like Wes Moore going with the breaking news that John Calipari is probably going to be the next Razorback coach. He made that prediction. He turned out to be right with it. And if you're going to go with that kind of breaking news and be the first person to scoop it, you better be 100%. You better not 99%. You have to be 100% sure on that. So now, for any of the weather apps and any of the meteorologists, like if you are 100% sure, great. If there's just a little tiny doubt in your mind, can we go 99%? Then I'll believe you. If I see 100% now, I don't believe it anymore.
Last time they said 30% here, Fort Smith almost washed away in a flood. So I'm not putting a lot of money on the weatherman. Yeah, I mean, I was floored. I was expecting Will Wade fully. And
you
here
were
comes
expecting
Cal, and
Will
I'm like,
Wade?
oh, my.
Now, the thing about Wade is, aren't there sanctions that go along with the first year when Wade is hired because of the show cause? So, I mean, that to me would be the kind of thing that would make you shy about hiring that coach. Just you got to build a program, but it's almost like you got to build a program after the first year. Is the way that I understand it.
I kind of expect Cal to come in here with 5 great players and have a good showing right off the bat. I don't know. Just got a good feeling about him and Calipari. He's something.
Well,
I'm not sure what, but
I do too, Rod, and I know why. It's because there's a track record to follow here. Look, to those who have said, and I think Cal even referred to it, leaving Kentucky doesn't mean you're leaving expectations. You're not necessarily even leaving a white hot spotlight, because I think that follows somebody like Cal everywhere he goes. It just got brighter at Kentucky because Kentucky basketball is a religion, it seems, to everybody in the state. Now, I think Arkansas basketball has a little bit of the same sort of following here, Matt. Maybe not quite as white hot, but there are expectations, and those expectations I feel are probably higher than they were under Eric Musselman, just because of Cal's track record of 3 teams to the Final Four. And what was it, 8 Elite Eights that he's been to? Or I might be off a number or so. But it's like, you want to build things very quickly, but it's like you got to build it now. And I think there's an expectation to win now. Win big, well, it'll all figure out what happens in March. But he didn't necessarily like walk away from one fan base that has all these wild expectations of national titles and go to another fan base that doesn't have big expectations either. Rod, good to hear from you. 877-377-6963 for calls and for texts. Matt, those expectations are there, and I think that you take the job here. I think you understand that, but I think with Cal, I think he's got his own expectations of what he expects for himself and for his team, and I think that's to win, and that's to win soon.
Yeah, he's a competitor. To have that much success, and as long as he's had success, it's over a long period of time. He's a Hall of Famer. Biggest hire in Arkansas sports history. I mean, I don't know but certainly over the last handful of years since the 2000s, there could have been Lou Holtz was a G. A lot of people say he got better after he left Arkansas. But I wasn't around then, but a lot of people say it's the biggest hire in Arkansas sports history was going out and getting Calipari.
No, I wasn't here when Danny Ford was hired as the football coach. He'd had a national title at Clemson when he was hired, so that had to have also felt like it was a big deal. But this feels different than that, it just does. And I think it's the celebrity. It's the idea that he won one national title with Kentucky, but 3 teams to the Final Four. Should have had a title first with Memphis. But, obviously lost in overtime to Kansas. So, yeah, this is the biggest one. And I think the celebrity and more of a track record than Coach Ford had. And I know he had the national title when he took the job at Arkansas, too.
Was there any hype in the Rick Barnes going from Texas to Tennessee? Was there a little hype? Because Ricky Barnes is a heck of a coach and doesn't have the national title. But, man, he's a G. We have the number 1 coach in SEC. If you said who's the ranking of SEC coaches, are you putting Bruce Pearl ahead of him? Are you putting Nate Oates ahead of him? I don't think you're putting either one of those guys ahead of Calipari.
Well, even in terms of what have you done for me lately with Pearl, they've been to a Final Four since the last time Kentucky has. Nate Oates has been with Alabama this last year. But that, we were talking about rankings here. Rankings also have to have something to do with what have you done lately, but what about the entirety of your career? And there's no coach in this SEC that has anything close to the kind of career that he's had.
How many coaches in the SEC currently coaching in the SEC have won a national title? I don't know that when Billy Donovan left.
One.
Yeah,
I think there's one.
Yeah,
pretty sure there's only one, and that's a good thing to point out. Hey, I want to remind you about Fish City Grill all month long. 2 great seafood specials that you can get at their Rogers location at 2003 South Bellevue Road. Beer battered cod tacos fried in their house-made beer batter. Comes with slaw, Fresno chili tartar, pickled jalapeno, cilantro, and sweet potato fries. Miso glazed salmon, Chilean salmon marinated in Asian miso glaze sauce. Comes with sugar snap peas, slaw, and lemon basil rice. That's at Fish City Grill in Rogers. You can also call for pickup or delivery at 479-636-8833. Anytime online, fishcitygrill.com. More halftime in just a moment, so stay with us.
Here's the 1-1. Swung on, skied in the left. That ball's hit pretty well, and it's gone! Brett Eibner's hit a home run, and the ball game's tied. Brett Eibner has hit a home run, and the ball game is tied. The Razorbacks down to their final out, and Eibner, for all his troubles this season, has just saved things.
Listen to every Razorback baseball game on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Brad Howe in Van Buren. Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Need a new roof? Shamrock Roofing and Construction can have you covered right now for as low as $139.99 with approved credit. For quality and peace of mind, one call does it all. Shamrock Roofing and Construction, call 479-319-5100. Supply issues are no issue at Shamrock Roofing and Construction. As one of America's largest roofing companies, we stocked up early and we stocked up big. We can do your job right now. And because we paid less for our material, we can share those savings with you. Call today or visit us at shamrockroofer.com.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep Westark Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
Westark Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
Do you need gutters but think they're too expensive or that you need to get the soffit or fascia ready? No worries. Call the Gutter Guy. He does it all. No need to call multiple companies to get the right gutters for your home. Call the Gutter Guy. Quality, low maintenance, leak-free gutters with a 5-year warranty. The Gutter Guy also does vinyl siding and windows. The Gutter Guy. Over 30 years experience. Call 226-1259. Call the Gutter Guy.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Only in your head you feel that's out. Look down on. Try your best. Try everything you can. Don't you worry what they tell themselves. You're away. It just takes some time. It'll be just fine. It'll be alright, alright. Hey, no, they're all the same. No, you're doing better on your own, so don't buy in. Right now, just be yourself. It doesn't matter if it's good enough for someone else. It'll be just fine. It'll be alright.
Find halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Yes, sir. Back here, halftime. C Music on the controls. Myself for the remaining couple segments today. Phil Elson had to catch the plane. They're going down to. Are they playing the Crimson Tide? C unit.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
That'd be a fun. That'd be a cool matchup. I expect the Hogs are probably favorite in every game this year, huh?
Yeah, you can almost bank on them taking 2 of 3, but Alabama's tricky.
We got the Masters going on right now. Ryan Fox, he looks like he's a New Zealander or an Australianer. He's got the Aussie. Oh, I'm trying to see that flag. It's either New Zealand or Australia, but he's 5 under through 9. OMG. You got Taylor Moore's 2 under through 13. He's in the top 5 right now. It's just getting underway, but it's one of the best golf tournaments, if not the most coveted major out there.
Yeah, what do you think the ratings will get this year?
I don't know if it'd get as good as Caitlin Clark and the Iowa Hawkeyes in the women's Final Four. But I know, I'm a golf guy. If you're a golf guy, if you like golf at all, you're checking it out. You're gonna watch it. You're gonna be up to date. It really is one of the most coveted. I want to say in Brett, we got Brett Dolan coming up here in about 15 minutes. He might know the answer to this. I know Clay would. I know Grant Hall would. But it's the only major where if you win it, it's inclusive for the rest of your life. You get to play in this tournament until you're no longer a human,
Wow.
So all the other majors, like I think the British might have a 5-year exemption. The players and the players, you got the U.S. Open and the PGA. It might be 5 or 10 years. You get exempt for a little bit, but the Masters, it's for life. So it's pretty cool.
John Daly ever win that?
Daly won the PGA
That's
the
right.
British, I believe.
That's right.
It was at Valhalla when he was actually an alternate. They called him up and he wasn't. Yeah, so that was and he just flew it. He just flew it over everything. What an absolute legend. All right, well, like Phil said, the phone lines are lit up. Christian, you go take us to who you want to go to.
Brian and Ozark.
Brian, what's up?
Hey, not much, Matt. How you doing?
Doing okay.
So, I got a couple questions for you. My first is, I agree that Calipari's a good hire for Arkansas, and we'll probably take him to a different level. But, it's kind of based on the last 12 years, he hasn't been to the Sweet 16, and that should be kind of a concern a little bit. Not much, but, my main question is, they can spend over $8 million on a basketball coach, yet you still have a subpar football coaching staff. Bobby Petrino had his 2 good years back when he was the head coach, but times have changed. Every team in the SEC has great head coaches now. With Oklahoma and Texas, I think Venables and Sarkisian are both better than Bobby Petrino. My point on that is football is the bread and butter of your school. Okay, if you can't fill that stadium, and they haven't, why would you not pay $8 million for a head football coach and have a great football coach, which is the bread and butter of your school, not basketball? Basketball is not going to pay your SEC bills. And I'll just hang up and listen to your comments.
Yeah, as far as the finances are concerned, I think they're doing okay. The Coach Calipari hire, what I'd look at, the main thing is, and to your point, saying 12 years, I think, before his last Sweet 16, I would take it all into since NIL. I just look at the landscape's changed and people are figuring it out a little bit. Calipari's always been a little bit ahead of the curve, one of the first to do the one and dones. And that roster was just absolutely loaded, that Kentucky roster that won it. And then had so much talent too. He listed off his players on the Memphis team. I think he's hip. I think he sees what's going on. I think he'll be in front of it, and he's gonna. You look at those teams, and they're so athletic. I think he still knows how to recruit the right player, get the athlete in. He is a player's coach. The connection, the success. I think he's going to be a winner. Football, yeah, we're what are you going to do? It's been a couple down years. I think you got to get the right quarterback. You got to have a little more talent on the outside. You got to have a Darren McFadden, an Anthony Lucas, a Ken Hamlin, a Steve Atwater. I mean, you just got to have some dudes that can go. And for whatever reasons, we don't have a lot of those dudes. You know, we lost our best player to Ole Miss. They're out there buying them up, and Chris Williams, or Pooh Williams. So, you know, just keep out there getting some guys. I think you gotta keep getting your in-state guys. I think it really hurts you when you're losing. I think Courtney Crutchfield was a big L for us. I mean, he won a state basketball championship. He can do a lot of things. And then it just puts you back behind when you lose kids from the in-state that are stars that can go. It just kind of puts you a little bit behind and going back, because it's based on relationships with these high school coaches, and you go in there and you're talking with them and you're getting the people. They're buzzing for Arkansas, not for Missouri Tigers, not for the Minnesota Golden Gophers, not for the Auburn Tigers. You know, that you want them to be Razorbacks.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I think football will get better, but that just remains to be seen. I like our chances with Vitrino.
We're going to be better next year.
Plays.
I think we're going to be better next year.
Yeah, you know, if we go 6-6, I'll take it. I think after next year, you'll see a big improvement, especially if we get some more NIL going.
Let's thanks for the call. Let's who we got next? C unit.
AC in Fort Smith.
AC in Fort Smith. What's up, AC?
Hey guys, how's it going?
It's doing all right, man. What's up?
Good. I have two questions for you. First question is, Matt, you made it so enjoyable watching Razorback when I was in college, just seeing you run down the field, and then followed up by DMAC. I mean, it was just awesome. So thank you for that. My question is, did you ever honestly wonder who would be faster on the field, you or DMAC? And I would love a real answer. And then my second question, because you and DMAC are from Arkansas, what makes somebody an Arkansas guy? Because, you know, Calipari, he's not from here. To my knowledge, I didn't see him call the Hogs last night at the press conference. Maybe you know different. But then you got a guy like Phil on the show, and he seems like an Arkansas guy. So could you answer those two questions for me, and I'll hang up and listen.
Well, I didn't see all the press conference. I think being authentic, I think that helps. You know, Phil's not from Arkansas, and he's embraced because I think he's real, he's authentic. You know, I think of Pat Bradley, I think of David Basil, I think of Blake Edens, Quinn Grovey. You know, there's a lot of guys that weren't from the States, and they go on to have a lot of success and kind of are Arkansas people now. They are Arkansans.
Yeah, I think it just depends on their personality too. You know, not everybody wants to call the Hogs necessarily. I think Calipari would have called the Hogs last night. I just think it kind of didn't work out.
Well, and he's probably, you know, it's new that he's probably thinking that the fans call the Hogs. You know, that it's probably kind of a little for him. As far as Darren McFadden, I think this is the biggest thing to happen to Arkansas since Darren McFadden was robbed of the Heisman Trophy. I mean, he 100% should have won the Heisman Trophy that year. When I think of Darren McFadden, I think he's in my lifetime, and Sean Andrews was the best player. I mean, that dude went my 4 years there. But McFadden, if you have to give a rankings to most valuable, best Razorbacks, Darren McFadden's number one, and since the year 2000, no question about it. That dude was just an absolute beast, best running back, up there with Adrian Peterson, I think. As far as you're talking about college running backs, it was highway robbery that Darren McFadden didn't win the Heisman.
I know, watching Tim Tebow get it, I remember.
Well, the Troy Smith, or was it an Ohio State guy or a Nebraska? It was some other guy that you're like, what's going on?
I remember just kind of everybody thinking we already know how this is going to end.
Yeah,
like we know Tebow's going to get it because he plays for Florida. You know, nothing good happens to Arkansas until now. We got Calipari.
It's going to be an exciting ride. I think you got to say woo pig suey. You got to be excited if you're bad. I mean, he's the number one coach in the SEC, and you got him. So enjoy it, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, let's finish up this segment. We got Brett Dolan coming up after this, but let's go. We got one more phone caller on. Let's go.
Kevin and Gravett.
Kevin, what's up, dude?
Guys,
How you guys doing? Sounds good. Something that I haven't heard even here on the show yet. So we've gotten NIL. That started years ago out west, I think it is, when the guys wanted to be a union. But did we not just start history by having an individual instead of just a, what do you want to call it, boosters and stuff, to bring in a coach, that we're having corporations or large, rich people to buy a coach to come in for an alma mater or for a team where they live or whatever? Do you not think this is going to set a precedence, and we're going to start now having coaches being bought more or less with money from individuals instead of having the boosters or the colleges be in control of it? Something to think about.
Yeah, I think Oregon kind of did that. Speaking of West Coast stuff, didn't Phil Knight he had Oregon going there? Joey Harrington, you remember when they put up the Heisman Trophy stuff for him in New York? Bought the big spread, put him on the on the buildings out there. I think they were doing that too.
Yeah, I mean, I've been kind of wondering like, when is the money in Northwest Arkansas gonna show up? And it seems like it's starting to now. Other schools are doing it. So why not do it? I mean, we've got that advantage.
We do. Ryan Fox, 5 under through 10. Bryson DeChambeau, he's a live golfer right there. He's in second place. I know there's some people that, you got your live golfers, and I hope he knows that it's more than 54 holes this tournament. But he's an absolute stud. And then, hey, man, thanks for all the callers calling in. Please continue to text in, call in, 877-377-6963. And we're going to be back right after this. We got Brett Dolan coming up after these messages.
You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
TaxAct knows you don't look forward to taxes. TaxAct doesn't even look forward to taxes, and TaxAct is a tax software company. It's basically TaxAct's whole thing. If TaxAct did things over, maybe TaxAct would end up teaching kindergarten or leading fly fishing tours. But that's a different story for a different ad. So why don't we just agree that taxes aren't fun, but you still have to do them? TaxAct's filing software can help you do that. TaxAct. Let's get them over with.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Walk-Ons is always a win. Whether it's a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner, Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and coming soon to Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Z Road, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They're open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts needs, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Early in the evening, just about supper time, over by the courthouse, it's starting to unwind. 4 kids on the corner, trying to bring him up. Till they pick the tune out, and he goes it on the hop. Down in the street, bringing it up, hits the white road. It's bumps at the face and so for a while. Oh, boy, twang the rhythm too. And when it goes into a dance, devil's on the zoo. Down in the street, bringing it up, beat.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Yes. Back here, halftime myself. C Music on running the board. Phil Elson had to catch a plane ride out to Tuscaloosa. They're going to go get it on with the Crimson Tide for a little 3-game series, and we'll see how that goes. Number 1 team in the land, Arkansas baseball. Dave Van Horn has them buying in, has them doing it right, and also there's a lot of talent on this baseball team. Let's don't get it carried away. The more talent you have, it makes the coach look better. I had a coach say that one time. Said the more talented players I have, the better I look as a coach. And that's
gotta have the horses.
You gotta have the dudes. Speaking of dudes, we got one of them right here, and Brett Dolan. Thank you so much, Brett, for spending a little time with us here on this Thursday afternoon. How's it going?
I just appreciate being labeled a dude.
Oh man, you are the dude. You bring it every time coming in, and I always look forward. I always have fun having you on.
Well, it's a shame we don't have anything to talk about this week.
OMG, the Masters is going on. Had a national championship game. The women's drawing more viewers than ever with Caitlin Clark, and all everybody wants to talk about is how Kentucky lost their coach, and the Hogs are the benefactors. We're thankful to have them. When I first heard it, Brett, I did not believe it. I thought it was a joke. Like the initial was like, whatever. Coach Cal's not coming to Arkansas, and then very quickly realized that it was true. What did you think when you heard it, and then what have you thought after you've kind of had a little time to digest it?
I think I had a similar reaction. The first time I heard it from a reputable source, I thought, no way, this just can't be happening. And in part, it wasn't necessarily we get caught up in leaving Kentucky for Arkansas. For me, it was the money, as much as he made it Kentucky, and how was that going to work here. And then, of course, we found out a little more of the details. No, I was really surprised. Now, it does feel like Cal was kind of at that point where I don't know if a new challenge is the right phraseology, or just he needed a different opportunity. And when this came up, I think it was too good for him to pass up. And now, after hearing him yesterday, I kind of expected, Matt, that he would go in there and kind of dominate a press conference. And my goodness, he went in there and kind of dominated a press conference. So even the people that have been inclined not to like him, whether it's as an opposing coach or just a person, I think they came around pretty quickly, because he's a lot of fun to just sit down and listen to. And you could see where he could go into a home for a 17-year-old or a 16-year-old and start selling them on his vision and his program.
No, I thought he definitely he stole the show. One of the things that, and you're hearing all these stats, and then you listen to him talk, and one of the things that I like that he said about coaching these kids was you coach these players, you get them to do things they didn't realize they could do, you get them to be the best version of them they could be, and then you make them feel good about it. You know, he's the ultimate player's coach.
Yeah, and I think sometimes we get so caught up in all the aspects of what sports is like today in coaching, and I think that's probably the origin of it right there. How can you make these kids believe that you care? How can you get them to play hard? How can you get them to win and get better? And I think that's the foundation that he employs. I think in a sense, Bobby Hurley's done a little bit of that at UConn, and obviously he's run the table a couple of times on national championships, just figuring out how to put the right pieces together and how to get them to play hard. And obviously, Cal's had a tremendous amount of success. The funny part for me, though, Matt, I'm sure you probably kind of delved through a little bit of this as well, is that there were a lot of people looking at Cal and his struggles the last few years in the NCAA tournament, and then the thought is, well, has his time kind of passed him by, or is this new wave of college baseball maybe basketball too challenging compared to somebody who's kind of made his way recruiting young kids and not necessarily hammering the portal and whatnot. And yet here we are. And then, after hearing him for 30 minutes, if not longer, or kind of thinking about it, now we're all on board. Now we're ready to see what he could do at Arkansas in this new crazy era.
Yeah, his athletes. That's what I was thinking about, back to his last few, even Memphis, and you can go back to Massachusetts if you want to, but the athletes that he gets going through, and he's kind of been ahead of the curve. I liked what he said when he was talking about assembling a team, because I tend to agree with what he said, is if you're a freshman and you're a dude, like UConn had a dude, number 5 freshman, best athlete out there, but then you had Donovan Clingan, who I thought that's the reason UConn was able to be so dominant, because of his defense and all the things. You got to have a big, but then you have a freshman, and Klingon's been he was in the program for a couple of years, and he Coach Cal mentioned that about Purdue and UConn having guys that stayed around 2 or 3 years and kind of understand the system, because you're bigger, stronger, faster after you've been through 2 or 3 college off seasons. But if you're a freshman and can play, we'll go out there and get you now.
Yeah, I did love that, because I think we've all kind of gone through this in our head the last couple of years. What's the best way to build a winner in college basketball? And right now, for some of these teams with new coaches, they just got to put rosters together. But I think long term, you have to have some talented young players who are really good, and then you can complement them out of the portal. I don't know if you can go in and grab 7 guys a year and make that sustainable. I don't know if you can go in and get 6 or 7 18-year-olds a year and make that work. It needs to be some type of mix, but I'm with you. If you can build up some young kids, and if those kids can play right away, more power to you. If not, they get a little bit better. They get stronger in this program. You complement a little bit out of the transfer portal. And I could see where Cal could have a lot of success doing both. I mean, he should be able to talk to a 19, 20, 21-year-old and tell them about the success he's had putting guys in the NBA, like Muss did. At the same time, go out and get some top-notch recruits, and because of what he's done, putting 18, 19-year-old kids on the floor and having a lot of success and winning a lot of games.
Yeah, I think he's going to be energized. I think it's win-win for everybody. Hey, there's a couple other things going on in the sports world, believe it or not. The Masters is going on, and it's one of my favorite tournaments. And we had a topic come up in the last segment. Now, if you win the Masters, that's a for life, and that's the only major right now. The British Open, I think, is 10 years. PGA in the U.S. Open is 5. But if you win the Masters, is this the most coveted major of the 4 majors?
I think it should be, at least for maybe guys like us that have grown up watching that tournament on TV every year. We think about the nostalgia of Augusta. And I've been there once, and every year I try and find a way, whether it's entering the ticket lottery or whatnot. It doesn't come at a great time of the year for us baseball types, but there's so much about winning the Masters or being at Augusta and performing well that I think is intriguing. I know that obviously you talk about the Opens and the vast field of competitors you get at the U.S. Open or the British Open, but to me it's at the top of the list. And you know, I don't know about you, but every year I kind of wish I could be there at some capacity just to take it all in, because it's a breathtaking event, and I can't imagine what it must be like to be in competition on a Saturday or Sunday and be one of the guys trying to win that green jacket.
Yeah, it's one of the ones I always look forward to. It's going to be fun. Hey, I also saw this. I don't know if you'd seen this. We know the NFL goes over to England, to London and play. And in the 90s, I believe they had an NFL Europe. But I saw this for 2024 season opener in Sao Paulo. The Packers are going to play the Eagles in Brazil. Did you kind of see that coming? Or do you think that's a good move for the NFL?
Well, it's interesting, and I feel like you have to almost do those games early because it's hard to do them in the middle of the season. You with the Jags, you know what that's like as far as going overseas in the middle of a year. But where else do they go after this? What's next? I mean, they've tried Europe. They've been to a few places like Mexico and now Brazil. It feels like the NFL's out for total domination, and I don't want to skip past Brazil, but I don't know where they would go next for a big event, whether that might be China, Asia, I don't know, but it's the NFL just kind of creeping and taking over one country or one continent after another.
I know. I think soccer all day when I think Brazil. You know, I used to think like when Oakland with the Raiders, I guess they're Vegas now, but, you know, Vegas, the Raiders and the 49ers in Mexico City, I think would just be large. I think that would be a sellout. And I do agree with you. It's so much easier to do that week 1 instead of doing it week 9.
Yeah, I mean, those poor Jaguars who do that a couple of times. Now, they might go over and stay for 2 weeks or whatnot and not have to go back and forth a couple of times. But it's amazing when the NFL goes over there will be no shortage of people that'll want tickets and people here from the U.S. that'll want to go see it as well. And I think a few NFL teams now have certain regions, like the Texans. Mexico's part of their region, and there's a few that make sense. But then there's also a couple of teams like the Vikings or Eagles or others where they're kind of divvied up a region of the world, and I'm sure there's some money there, whether it's television opportunities or whatnot. And you're talking to a guy who spent a lot of time in Houston, and when Yao Ming was there, you know, the influence that Yao had from a television standpoint and advertising standpoint, it would always be funny to see Chinese advertisements at the Toyota Center, but those were done with the opportunity then for people back in China to see it on television. And I don't think we're that far away from maybe some regions of influence with some other professional teams.
Well, and real quick, while we got you here, one last thing, and I just want to get your thoughts on the O.J. Simpson passing and, you know, him as a player. And I was trying to tell some of the younger kids how dominant. I said he was like Christian McCaffrey. Phil said he's like Derrick Henry. So we both chose the 2 best running backs in the NFL right now to compare him to. But yeah, just kind of your thoughts on his passing.
Yeah, that caught everybody maybe a little bit by surprise. I didn't know that he was in poor health. I think we all try and reflect back where we were when we were watching the verdict come down, and I happened to be in Winnipeg, Canada, of all places. And I don't even know why the hell I was in Winnipeg, Canada, but that's where I was, sitting in a foreign country waiting to see what the verdict was going to be. You know, the other part that I found interesting, the Heisman Trophy Trust sent out a nice tweet today, and they've kind of distanced themselves a little bit from O.J. for obvious reasons over the last couple of decades. But, you know, when it came to his success on the field, he was one of the true great ones. It's been a complicated life for him, in many ways going forward. But yeah, when you go back to just his playing career, he was a great.
Well, Brett, man, hey, thank you so much for hopping on here with us today, man. We appreciate you giving some of your time all the time, man. Thank you.
Always a pleasure, Matt. Best wishes.
That's Brett Dolan. He's the man. He brings it every time he comes on. Always love chatting with him for a little bit. We got Wolf on the controls here, and we got one more segment coming up. Let's pay some bills, and then we'll come back and wrap this thing up.
This is halftime.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. I want to talk about their pizza today. The Goob Special with extra pepperoni and rib rub on top. The Parm Special with double mushroom and jalapenos. Don't forget about the bacon cheeseburger and everyone's favorite, the old trash can. Swing on by Papa's Pub and Pizzeria at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith, or give them a call at 479-783-9941. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where it's spring cleaning time. The lot is blooming with fresh road-ready certified inventory and weekly specials that could save you up to $4,000. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in the Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. Better yet, trade today and save up to $4,000 during spring cleaning at Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
The American Patriot Promotions Gun Show is coming to the Sebastian County Fairgrounds in Greenwood, Saturday, May the 4th and Sunday, May the 5th. Tickets are just $10 per person, $8 for veterans, military, and active police force. Plus, children 16 and under get in free. On Saturday, the event goes from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. and Sunday from 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. For more information, go to AmericanPatriotPromotions.com. May the 4th be with you.
Can you explain the infield fly rule? Neither can I, but I can help you navigate a variety of legal issues, from divorce to personal injury to estate planning. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions, a new law firm offering affordable flat fees with payment plans available. You get an ace at the price of a minor leaguer. Now that sounds like a grand slam to me. Call Mock Legal Solutions for your free consultation, 479-769-1505. Real advice, reasonable price.
Do you need an oil change but don't have time to drop off your car? S&J Express Lube will let you sit in your car while they do the work, and it only takes about 15 minutes with no appointment needed. Prices start at $35.99 for a 20-point inspection service. S&J Express Lube is open Monday through Friday 9 till 6 and Saturdays 8 till noon. You'll find them at 14818 Highway 71 South in Jenny Lind. Check them out on Facebook too. S&J Express Lube, your authorized Castrol dealer in Sebastian County. They are waiting on you now.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics. Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Call your local Shelter agent, Chris Dooley, at 479-646-6792.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Summertime,
And the living's easy. Rallies on the microphone with Ross MG. All the people in the dance will agree that we're well qualified to represent the LBC. Me and Louie, we gonna run to the party and dance to the rhythm. It gets harder.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Yes, sir. Back halftime here. Myself, the Wolf, running the board. Phil Elson catching a plane. Baseball Hogs going down to take on the Crimson Tide for a little 3-game stretch. Thank you for all the callers, all the listeners, all the guests, everybody checking in with us today, man. It's been a fun show, been a fun week, been a good time to be a Hog fan. Got a little hope going back. Wolf, I haven't got to talk to you since all this has went down. What's your initial thoughts on Coach Cal being the new head basketball coach?
Man, I'm still trying to get used to it a little bit. I mean,
Pinch me, I'm dreaming.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Seeing him I was there last night, so seeing him in a Razorback pullover is just kind of weird. And then, the fact that he's been the coach at Kentucky for basically all the time that I can remember,
Right.
at least in my life. So it's, I'm just still trying to get used to it, but I'm super excited. I think it's one of those hires, kind of like the Bobby Petrino hire, where the fan base was kind of down, and you hire a big name, get in here and gets the fan base immediately pumping, immediately happy, ready for the next season. So I'm excited.
How was it as far as was there 7,500 people there for him? I kind of put it if you remember when LeBron went to the Heat and had his I don't know if you've checked that out, but that's kind of how it kind of looked to me. Was when LeBron took his talents to South Beach.
I was there, so I was on the floor down with the media, but I looked up, and I think there was maybe 4 or 5 rows all the way stacked all the way to the top, and I think they only had like a certain reserve.
Yeah,
like you obviously couldn't go sit on the back half
Right,
of
right.
Walton, but I would guess probably maybe 4,000 or 5,000 ish people there, and I mean you look behind you and there was not a seat missing, so it seems like there's probably around 4,000 or 5,000.
Man, that's just exciting. I know it's been overwhelming positive news coming in as far as for the fans and everybody calling in. So
well, the former players as well. Like I haven't seen Joe Johnson at Bud Walton Arena in forever, and I saw him. I was actually walking by and saw him, and it's pretty crazy. Everybody's excited.
yeah, little hope, little chance to hang a banner. It's been a while since they've hung a banner in Bud Walton. You look at the rafters in Kentucky, it's a lot different than the rafters there in Bud Walton. So. Get a little success, hit the ground running, somebody who knows the landscape, Woo Pig Suey. Well, that's it for this Thursday edition of Halftime. It's been a fun, interesting, weird, just awesome week so far. And we get one more day to be with you guys again. Tomorrow I'll be in All-American Steakhouse in Springdale. Phil should be in Tuscaloosa. Wolf, thanks for hopping on here for a little bit. See you.
Yes, sir.
Do your thing. And we'll see you guys tomorrow.